We are waiting patiently for you. Oh, brother, I'm here. Miriam, okay, video ya me watching we are very, very, very interesting. It is an interesting stuff. Oh, my na yet muno, akwako say. Yeah, dear, I was saying, yente, hey, yes, you. Bonia, RCFO, say RACFO, say, why you only NDC, Edibedi Ghana mine. Ghana for I would say, yente, enti yesi ye pe more, ye pe niema no more, and NDC for so de my yeah. I was your video, yeah, would tear ye. Then I catch it out. You see, the selling of the state assets, no, the prime priority of the NDC. Amoba by moi, Amonia da Joe, and Crofo when ya quenya betra kunyamua. All what they are caring of is how they can sell out government properties. How they can set up to me or my manaya here for. That is what they come in for. Where they actually to it. Burkina Faso brought us fuel infrastructure by acquiring Tema hydrocarbon facility from Ghana. Well, Tio, maybe hey, well, my way, some way. They say, and copim se Ghana for your liberty. Near Bedia to Muse, Sama Yokubi a friend and this or Munya Papa. O man way and Kona Nimuda. O mine day, and Kona Nimuda, because brother, these guys, I'm Krofuwe, Omuya Mamofo. Omone odo edemo omino kakra omubedie jombenya wia said ebe omo busuanom eba be yasikafo said ebe ombetumi build family bia ombe rich forever ene na de omo akoma so nwa ba me nwa be ma sa ade we ya John Mahama obedi akonwa ne nyuma ohya ase ano ye ne yakwantuo akwantuo be na Mahama etuo okobo Burkina Faso Mali na Mali we ya yeka ho asem na Burkina Faso yeka ho asem enipa omote ho a omudi mampanyini wo ho eye nipa bi omunye democratic omudi tuo na ji to me entinka democratic state like Ghana a wo ya to abade ayi wo betra konwa so a enipa odo ho bo won ene sa nkrofo we sana de Mahama ye nyina wa asekere sana John Mahama akwanto bebeba no to Burkina Faso no sana eho ayedai asekere nie de na ewo mni se John Dramani Mahama fa kwambi so a obetumi aton what them call a strategic infrastructure bit say sa ayi ofani saying sa hydrocarbon facility way ediama Burkina Faso for. Well, the government of Burkina Faso has finished the acquisition of the Tema multi-purpose terminal hydrocarbon deposit in Ghana for $70 million. Enti akwantuo na the supreme leader day in, day out, or the private jet, or the Ibrahim Mahama the private jet, no kono bano, sadil way and an aquana ye. Mimia Samuel Okunobra Pani Moakwaba, Pamia the Savacham Moakwaba Yepa. Well, a facility where that way, sa facility ame ma pusha to our way, a ye facility kito. Sa facility way, a ho, sa way. A hona fuwa sebe free amanone aba, ye store fuwa nuguha, eno achi, na ye the tracks, akwasisa, fuwa na free ha, edi akwe the various filling stations. Na o kope fuwa na to when ye be aton. Until you see, you do understand how important this facility is. You should know, say, the fuel, the fuel na the basis of the economy. Here you nim says ye to enema boom. So what is a to fuel mu pe automatically Lord fe kosoro. Ana meboa. Ye to fuel mu pe enema bo kosoro. And it is such a strategic facility. TNT was a unkotomma foreigner. Now, especially when you're foreigner, Papa Biancoton man say a coup d'etat leader, a country ne omuwo under coup d'etat, and Nipana audio minor name no on family juma. Now I didn't trust him the year juma. Wakoton idea we yaman. Abra Ghana mine or mine yetima woody any mono. Who soon yes he can find tidy way. But you rather decided to go and sell it to somebody on family juma. Enipa sabio ene a casing team. Now case a sa infrastructure way. Ya tuma Ghana for better than your patro. Mama Joyce Moakwaba. Ghana for better than your fuel atom. Say Burkina Faso nipa we esodi ochina. No, I say no, I don't care. Close it down. Na ye be dey. Ye be dey. John Mahama say Ghana ni sika obetum di atom infrastructure we manage no for our own affairs. But ye will sika ye be promote to galamsey o Ghana man. Go I hope. And anyway Ibrahim Mahama benya ni sika. Now, infrastructure ente say what me about modeling akoton the Burkina Faso president, the country of Burkina Faso, Ghana for yet Ghana my mama the most strategic what can I say infrastructure say very very important. I will say a nimara home nenye under the management of ourselves, you know. And then Mahama say what town ente say say Ibrahim told you, say a friend is saying, oh sorry, no, I said no, I'm not going to allow this infrastructure to work. That's a Ghana for Patro cry Benyan or Mammy in your BPM. And at Dahono, Burkina Faso has taken the decisive steps towards securing its hydrocarbon supply with the $70 million acquisition of the multi-purpose storage terminal in Ghana. Tio, yes, you were 78 million. I had a press conference. Aye. You were 11 point something billion. You had a presidency. But you need 70 million. I had a better infrastructure. We are. It's so important. The accord. Combine no young coso, no. The quacoton de amobi. The one where in Crofowe. Amubedia Kunya. Sombedia Kunya. What him do amoye? Ghanaian, a Ghanaian. Who a Ghanaian? Now bet to me a coso and Crofowe, you bet your con, you bet your coy mount coanim. Sadia when you cancel the carbon tank cotton. Sadia we was saying ka won't me make sure say you will help even an individual Ghanaian to buy this infrastructure. To make sure say the interest of the person will be Ghana first. Nene. And Crofowe your daddy will yakoma warning. How mono? They are in competition with you as a country. Ochina. Oh sorry. No, Kese. He want you as a country to suffer. Now, Sabio, or rise the cost of storage of fuel in this infrastructure, or rising higher. Tia sem no be country no. Or investor, he can decide to do whatever. Dear no beka. When you rule a country, we don't rule a country with our stomach. Now, nim dia sa kwa we betimamba so ne Mahama na ko under agreement. And agreement Mahama apaje sika dia koma na say onye so no na auto business as usual. Whom send this for the business there? Eyo omode ban. Eyo modua na omodiri da bia. Me and Sammy Jesse Moakwaba. Was from Hamburg. Buonasera, fratello. Buonasera. Hey, Jazzy, who can't tell the Casagina? Buonasera, buonasera. I was going to tell you, Mika. Your tongue sign infrastructure where ya a honor fool wherever by gun and you cost store. Your tongue the amount of Kina for so for. I say, there is no party in this world that or ye useless. Ya mami akuya me mo akwa papa. There is no party in this world that or ye useless like the NDC. Sadie way. Se Ghana ni ba and an person to common tomano. How can you sell such an infrastructure and then be provided the fuel security in the country? How can you sell such a strategic thing to sub military-based government? I want to mind no. I want no boss here. His interest is to move on. You can't also my anchor. And then the dahono. When you vote for NDC, you have automatically voted for the thieves to come in and milk the country. And then I afei na yɛhyɛ ase me se yɛwɔ ɛyɛzu yɛnyankɔ yɛza yɛduru yɛza just amanfo dwane firi ɔman no. Yes, let me read it all to you. I say Burkina Faso buys a hydrocarbon depot. Aye, where be a store fuel, gas, and na asefo. Near me be frama no near banyina fuel ne gas fuel any form of fuel biano. Sa plant way ehɔ na yɛkɔ store no yɛde free hɔ a na yɛde kɔ the various filling stations as na wɔnya biato. And John Daliga Dramani Mahama has made sure say this infrastructure will be sold to the Burkina Faso president, and it has finished. Burkina Faso buys a hydrocarbon depot in Ghana for $70 million. Yet to us Burkina Faso has taken the decisive step towards securing its hydrocarbon supplies with the 70 million acquisition of the Tema multipurpose storage terminal in Ghana. Formalized in the March 2025, the deal strengthens the Société Nationale de Carbon and French Kassam by giving it increased capacity and unprecedented logistic autonomy for its landlocked countries. Yeah, internet. Sadia way, Ababe Burkina Faso for dear. A hand of mobile for fuel the acco. Until se fuel banner a store fuel or higher. Se Burkina Faso for your modia. Ghana, we can go to hell. You see our end. Catch them. This is what the NDC is doing to us.
24 hours, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama. Hey, yes, 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 hey, yes. Oba, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same. As good as
that's exactly what Ghana voted for. Yeah, bro, that is what they did. But we are all going to suffer for this mistake voting. Ghana for Koye. Maybe the NDC bought it themselves, or Mahama took money from Burkina Faso and has to pay by selling Ghanaian asset and allow Burkina Faso to do Gara. It could be they can do everything. Now, in all this, NDC based supporters, they are satisfied. Hey, in Kania, any and nine so a man for a sofa. Sabio ensuo kura ho ayedene. Sabio now make us $1 ya. And nama nanim and $1 and almost 16 cedis for $1. The NDC supporters are still happy. Just want you to want to ask you. NDC for one where you don't know what is really wrong with them. Anything can happen. Their leaders can even sell the country. They are still happy with what the NDC is doing. Just say, omni a sense of rumor so they don't see when things are going wrong. They always congratulate their leaders when they do even foolish things. In their tongue, who hydrocarbon depot, ewo minum, who see when yaji, who was our home. And fuel is the base of any economy. Fuel and then a determined cost of living in your country. But Mokai said, Brana, you see a cotton, a body beach hotel, you say, wine, Ediama Brana Champon. You see what the NDC did? Samokai, ye demonstration in our home. Okuja tabra kwa tikekawure wure na pampam se jene a pro. They came out doing demonstrations. Say here Tongana Japade de Amagana Niba. But these fools came in power and the most strategic infrastructure I was saying owned by Ghanaian. They are rather selling it to a coup d'etat leader. And then they're okay. And then they're okay. Why? One leadership. It is not about what. Me say one. It takes you only to be somehow different. Me can say actually be an year because me the history of this party. Say when they come in power, they said government access. They said the omoton bibia. And no more shassie. There be almost run a Kwame Nkrumah and a Kwame Nkrumah. Mimi Bissau say the factories are Kwame Nkrumah SEC with the white man or Musisi now on they support the local business in the country. And here for the ton. Hey, this party has lost the idea. The ideology of a socialist political party. And this is one tier. More capitalism. They are more capitalism than what they call themselves socialists. ECG, ya ton, you go so a person yan ton, your friend on tonche. And then the hydrocarbon depot non sono, and also more say aqua ton. Maton we, Ediama Burkina Faso for. Bonaventia. You were promising to create job. You were promising to create job. You were promising to give good life to the people. You are rather selling the state assets, the fundamentals of our stable economy. Why? Now I said, when you don't know your history, you allow yourself for people to use their mouth to deceive you, and you fall flat into it. You become what they call a toy. Ghana for a cat toy. Now I bet than a toy. A kuyaba. Hedia homa ni poja na poja unsa na poja onai. Now sir, because you don't know your history. I brought PNDC for the Ghana. Running se breso do omode be ye Ghana. Ghana nkoswa aka ehye na ye NDC for. But still, we have Ghanaians who don't understand, and we still support that party, criminal party. What they do is just to enrich themselves. So, I'm with opposition now to your Numa Sama. Obey some way angels. Obey some way angel Gabriel. Obey say, Omodia, Omoya Kron. you mistake now to abamo mu say wom. Omo betena konwa mu a. Then they show you their record of who they are. Now, it is very sad. It is very sad. Say Ghana ni ba tumi tena se. Ehu nkoswa ekoso oni man mu. Na anu na mehwe ofene den report bi. Na report na mehwe no. Ghana is the 4th country for comfortable digital life in the whole of Africa, not West Africa. In terms of development, Ghana, in terms of what they call data development, we are the 4th. To be a 4th country in the whole of Africa, in the digital world. Who built that? Dr. Bawomiani MP before a year. The Ghana for ye transfer the dokon bo ebe deceive yourself just to go and vote for bunch of thieves. Say the meaning even see kind thieves and criminals to come and lead us by selling the state assets. Sane chichiromai. You can't them say yes. Ghanaians, mo amoko to abama ndisi no. Mo di suku akwa ji dum so amose monte ase. Maami afro be mo akwa bapa. Afro nie. Se you catch them say mo di suku akwa ji dum so amose monte ase. Mo di suku akwa ji leadership amose for some so amose monte ase. Mama jai suku ato ho ena mo se mu kodi omo a omo de omo anu be fomfa mo ho ye de nkoso akwaji backwards yes san ye chi akoyachi yes san ye chi ena akwaji ena aba betena se uti o man abamba o se ye kan se popo hu hiame build the hospital can't also come them. They don't go school. No, also that's what so that baby the papa also there be pay. Come with my bunch of boy. Who the Omaya team and since the coordinating got the whole did it address any be street numbers any be. Aban bi aba were taken as a serious, were create address across the whole country. Osi unim some for so what GBT. Omaya utim, there were no identity, authentic identity. Ne be no maimo. Aban bi baye within 2, 3, 4 years of administration. Now I implemented. Everyone has his identity, and then obibo kronoa within a short time near capture no. Nano that fucking attorney general. Abuse of power no. Say Jimmy na why you funny say what is the name of the attorney general? Sa papa na or ba or no akromfo ayachi omodimo ko jina court. Ama court to determine say they have a case to answer. How oba ya because of partisan politics inti. Also what discharge your case. Sa kwasi ampanyi no. Na no be jina be catch Ghana for say with the Ghana card criminal activities is getting it is a reduction of criminal activities is going on in the country because of Ghana card. But brother Dr. Bawumia Kachida will say he prefer Ghana card than interchange. Na mwenya nkwasi afobinum di Dr. Bawumia tem. Bible kayomwa lack of knowledge make my people perish. And it's true. Ghanaians have perished. Ghanaians have sold their knowledge for stupidity, complaining, and complaining. Now, let me tell you, the NDC chairman for Accra, he said, how were you able to convince Accra to vote for NDC? I saw the document, and then Chinam and a convention. In fact, Siabekaya, John Mahama so call hono. He said it openly, said, Gafo and Cranfo, Moon Yang Kankro. Enti Doc Nanado, overhead, I know see. Overhead, I know what see. road are now built, hospitals are now ye, enuma are now ye, offices are hold on no CCBiano. John Mahama Kamamote Mohasi said, who here? The Muhiana Docron in Chinam, because that was the agenda. And I so Jimmy Adokro yenti aboye muma na sebi ye hu de pa ye hunti ye didi akire te se nwan na ekosala na ekoto aba ene de ye hu no ene de ye hu no every good initiative for binder down sha ase bia no and this ya boycott. They don't want to continue, but remember say governance is continuation. Governance is continuation. About Papa Bedu Mansua, no matter the person who started the project, if the project has a good impact, or if the project will have a good impact on the people, the government then takes it serious to make sure that project will be completed. What are we seeing? The say every single project has been abandoned. We don't care because we came in to make sure say yebenya contract de ama ye nkrofo yebetimi abokro no na ye ho atoyen because you were Jimmy for brum to say maami weti o ye me my ma ye wona mani o udeti maami weti
bibia okay
inti zo me na asefo no o ana oton o de na ye papa ye mfa hwe mfrɛ mu
pacho debi sudin ni bibia okay.
Okay, yo. Now also what on fish, what on oil, what on zoom ngone na sefo. Sisi was sitting them to say yes sa aban enche December 7 and yokoto aba. Na was sitting them saying that ene.
Oh, sisi ade bibia boko ye de radiase. Jo mama ba bibia ko yie.
Sa.
Ko so fine. Sisi awe yi 11 no. Ye de radiase.
Ye nyi free hoye enso ye beyi. Ye de radiase. De we bibia asem ma okan ni na. Wa ye bibia okay. Nti bibia da din. Na obeka se den pote na asesa. Woni ma wo ton no sei no ebo no etesen ebo no gina bibia gina na anase akoso.
Oh sesi ade ebo no yateso.
Mo ateso.
Patwan.
Na wokoto a yateso.
First oil no ni yeton 7 million. Sisi aba 6.8, 6.7.
Then na 7 million no gallon nana.
Gallon, yellow gallon no.
700 Ghana cedi.
Me bacho ai.
Sisi aba say.
Aba 6.8.
Okay, it just 20 cedis at so. As 20 cedis no word to say na reflect say na ultimate teso.
Sisi amateso first ni eton 60 Ghana. Sisi aba 50 Ghana. First na votek ni eton 50 Ghana. 60 Ghana, say about 50 Ghana. Okay.
Into the chest, what found there? Never quay.
Bibia dadin.
And 11 also a year free honor into Onyaya and Katak.
So, Abusia, and enjoy news for Adani tree. Hey, one who may say, God. Nyankupo Hatasro, a bit young Quasiafo, Numinaka. Abusiamon fan chairman, say if I'm a little bit harsh, but they deserve it. And enjoy news for country. This is a propaganda. Me say the NDC is in power, but they are still doing campaign. Pemami we yojina wene wadane ne ho kontomponi kremoni ba wo ye Ramadan awudi ntro. Ilevia yi free honti Ghana awuradi gagopo. Hey, Ilevia yenye nyim free ho ayese ye ba be ye free ho. Mami we si amana bra bom aye kama. Ene join us for country wo mo channel no so. Because you were Jimmy for Brum to say ya, the obedient and hiano. You can build Nankro for Brum say Kura minum. Now develop poor minor to the American standard. Ya because I draining your Juma. Aye. Because Obi to me Trankanchira will say, since I can say Jomahama ye or Mampanino, I want to abor minum more. Can we say Nipani and Kontompo for? Or yen kontomponi na wo bi a wo ye Ramadan a wo chire kom wo di wa futo ho bom pa ye se Nyankopon fa wo bon nchew wo gina nkran ni mu sante tenkran ne wo bom pa ye se Nyankopon fa wo bon nchew na wo san di ntro we nyina ye orchestrated o ya sheda na ya plan na yakofa join us for say Omomna no money obi medi nkomo. Na nipa no nkese bibi ekoso kama wa Ghana man. Omra no mameka. Now how far say a market woman, e-levy has make your life easier. Enkotompo. Assembly Mahama can be our ye. In fact, you see a basic woman bank at the amamo. Woman bank in a babesino. Young conquering what you say the 50 million and a basic woman bank. Where you don't tear here. You're like a doos, Yamia Mwaka. Where on tears here. The year can on tears here. The issues or intellectual discussions are concerning governance. Actually say the government lack leadership quality. We on Tiasia, where the only man said the year can TV so. And in TNDC government, I allocated huge sums of money into the press conference and media encounter just to capture the minds of these stupid people like this, to divert their attentions, to manipulate their minds manipulate their minds and tell them what they should think. And it is a setting we are no. It is a plan there just to make people feel say something positive is coming out from the John Dariga Dramani Mahama Chrono Amamunum. Yes. Yes. Sapa mami ojina hoy. Ya sheda ni asuma se unkodi intro. Sama me di oka onim. The audio okay, onim, he just talking, just to make ya suman ya tresi kamano. We omi abami be more than mekasa. Nana do be free kunya suna dollar da 14, and a dollar da 15 plus. Enti samose dollar na ne boaye den. And na ma aduane boaye den wo man no mu a. Adenti e na dollar no cost no be kan kire me se ne ma boaye fo. Na se mo yonkontompo fo. And they say you lie to the people. Now say you are dishonest people. Now say because of 5 Ghana be at the mawo, 100 Ghana be at the mawo, you came out to lie to the people. Now more. When I'm hobachimo, more I'm hobachimo. More I'm hobachimo because it's a MPP supporters, near NDC supporters, near the young age the difference is clear. High difference is clear. Yeah, MPP for. And yen anado aban ti ye mu binom yenye school call ye. Yen MPP for no. Ye mu binom ene e mu binom. And yen anado aban ti abinum nya university call ye. E binom omo ye omo dwuma omo live good before. But more NDC supporters the grassroots. Mo na mo ye hiafo power Ghana man no. Mo so mo na mo support nkwasi asem. Mo so mo na mo support aban a on fa mining kan ko enye the priority. Until the end of the day, why the best offer? Why the best offer? Yeah, the propaganda no jare mo ana jimu team. The Kenyan say amonfa. E na obi jana ototo pai so. Momenti.
Taxes ne levies ne bia aka no eno so omombo omode no munyi him free ho.
So omunyi ni nan free ho. Na so ye ho ntoyen. First ni de na ye press si ade. Omunyi bibie free ho na bibia. Se see footballers for no crampo no. Bibia ko yie omko bobo na no omu wini ye nti ehu se bibia ko yie
yo na
so omko bobo na omu hye baako mienu no ma be fie se ade na no omu hye 5 na no so omu sa hye 3 nti e de rade ase
nti ni
wa already jankopo. You hear what this guy what you asema mama we kai anabo ateme mo akwaba Abusia, what you say, mommy, we can. Whoever who in his right senses will say this nonsense. The World Cup qualification, Yansha say January 2025. Yansha say January 2025. You bought 5, you bought 6 matches. Ghana I lose just 1 match for the World Cup qualifications. Nana boate wako abapa. Enye brana Black Star call money. E call wene money for in their home no. Na enye ndisi na tia kunya so. Bra Ghana for Ghana echi sebio Central African Republic for edi won su kunim no na enya Mahama na etia kunwa so ena de mo de football nyina ye politics we mami we yanim nkwasefo na ekoto aba o we nom na ekoto aba di president because Ghana Black Star for an match intino Bahamas government is perfect we are boa mame ye ni matem but mame nka bibi nchiro mame nka bibi nchiro mame nka nyansa fan two team. So I said the performance of a president is based on performance of the national team there. And there's serious problem with your brain. Because se unima ye can't buy or say Ghana football the NDC for 2014 when you see Brazil. And in Guasia Poto and the Kofabaye. Because of corruption and they work football. No. Nene, they say the Ghana Black Star for one into Mahama a good president. He levy, ye free horse, so my missy ye levy a free horse. Fuel price na a cost on one can one sem. Cement price na a cost on one can one sem. Dollar na a cost on one can one sem. Ghana Black Star for when or more in a year. I hear the first time of the first of its kind. Number my cost for a long time now, and no more now they be cancelled. Hey, mama wamadi onho yawo yento ado
e mai koyi wa
bibia da di he bibia yo okay aban papa na waban
yo na mama mbisa o betting tax no so omo a chese omo kobo ye mfa ne se sebi yo chacha na eno so tax na ye free ho no we muslim senia echreche no o dwen ho sen ebinom so say nkan si ye ma wo ho senia emma omo to chacha no ombeto aso
acho guys ni bebre omo nye eduma no na omo dididi nti omo ye fi wo no omo so omo ho ato omo bebre ni eduma ye no na omo ye a omo so omo de so omo
so what ene emos hala what eya sebo mi rekadu ensem wo ho ma mi afro me se ha oman ne ya abodam for man yo nipa na ye wo man no high percentage ya abodam enye bodan ni nkwa na wayi ni ho na ma bonto obi o ho adre ni nya djuma e na esitire no so esi kon no so wu bosrema wu promote gambre abrochira yete Europe ni America udi loto ansa na wusika beba wonsam no na ye calculate at tax ya free mu dadada ukwa kwatwa loto no before ansa na be process the amount of money that you get back no na ya te wo chef ya te aban chefa dia command dadada ene maami a wo ye Ramadan odi ade akichiri wuti de se de kwa kwatwa wuti oba be kan kire Ghana for nkura se adwuma ni oman num ti obi ankotwa loto obi ankotwa betting enne ye adwuma e wo ho nanti promises na mo ban ne de ma mo so oba no be kreti adwuma no eno na ekosi sen abusianfo enkrofo ne ne omote oman no mo entu ye den na the sanity in the society will never come because there was some mad people when no more abodam for adwene nya djuma but are still there and I'm so mutimi dress o mo ho sha atade enti na ya na adwene so mo adwene ya djuma adwene nya djuma adwene no enya djuma and yes sir how dare you to come and say what this woman is saying entabusan for enkrofo na ne o mo anya no sa enkrofo na ekoto aba edi yi oman edema yen omudi yam omampanyini de mayen. So what do you expect? What are you expecting? There na here. And prince sanity the society no ama adrena da hope fe. Na adrena ye critical analysis. Na adrena 3 4 5 6 7 times. And so we make a decision on the ballot paper no. The country will suffer in the hands of this and this for. The economy. Yemfa we see her na yenko yanim. Abusianfo Yakoda ya yante asempa na hey what do you tie hey tie Bible say pese ebeto no enye den emmo emfa mawia pese ebeto no enka emfa unya ho abusuanfo na ekoda sori ya yesi Professor JJ Professor Opoku Ajiman yare serious pa yesi yare serious pa na se mo be kaya the history of the NDC ne say yedi moja na build the NDC party since from the founder himself Sherry John Lawrence ne breso but the moja kumkum nipa basabasa tutu nipa gu nsuom bobo amanfo tuo basabasa and what they building a party no straight forward to the towers almost all the administration are head by the NDC biano and nipa wuwom oh already yame asempa na meka chiro no Prebi NDC babe di Ghana man so bia no enipa dasani ewu ansana omotena ebe ende a ende banke say NDC supporter bia o empanfo the big men they die meno kase wan kasa unim Professor Mills Okoye papa ba akure friends the vice president Mr. Atta Onoso Okoye JJ Lawrence Onoso Oko ene grandma was on American president kwa akoko grandma ene sori ya osi wa yeden oyare den oyare ehom mfa no wako UGMC for treatment akire ya ho a na krata ba bontin say professor the vice president he didn't call amanone akotriti no me be ma wo hweme man you say bia I'm joying over a secret so nye say bia me mani age say oba ma me panyini bi a vice president of a state yare o I'm not happy about that too but wo is this a wo we for nsa no aye den na wa hwe wo de se wo we for nsa na wa hwe wo de ebere bi baaye Emma NDC 4.4 Every by NDC 4.4 and in another two rational can be open another yare obewu akakra another dear nenkwa said akoye omoka de omope bia but in all this no for the so kwatch na cast on the TV video.
Of the new patriotic party, Nana Akufo-Addo, is suffering from 3 serious ailments: prostate cancer, what they call acute kidney injury, and a blockage in his coronary artery. They have 3 separate reports. They give dates, they give the name, the description of the physicians, the hospital, which is Wellington Hospital, a top-notch hospital in the UK, and what they say are the conditions afflicting Nana. If you listen carefully, Nana Akufo-Addo or the MPP has not issued a denial.
Titus, let me quickly come to you. He's preferring some advice for the NPP and suggests that, in fact, it is not the NDC that is alleging about the health status of your front runner. The NPP's
I think that advice is a useless advice. I don't think we need advice. We will not take advice from Felix. Felix,
all right.
His colleagues, what names have been they called Akufo-Addo?
Okay, what the video in front na yentoa ya juma yedi so. me say ade a umpese beto no chinsi branks me mo akwa papa ade a umpese beto no emfa nto yonko so enka mfa wunua ho Bible said the idea why nye wo de no emfa nye den emfa nye wunua na medwene ho amenti ase o medwene ho amenti ase se Michael Robert me mo akwa papa medwene ho amenti ase se anytime the NDC in power somebody in the leadership must to die professor ye mo wuwo na se ye tie de ahoy family ka ye na ahoy family e kan kire wo say the day ayi maami wo yi say omra no mama ye the vice president or the vice candidate the vice presidential candidate emfama NDC no sada no the ahoy family ayenim say omoye the most superior family in the NDC aye betuma ke say NDC amanyoko na da ho no eye omode no omo ka asem bi na asem omo ka ye ne say Naana, be aware, because what? Everything can what? Can happen. Sase mo yo mo kaya no. Na emu edru pa. Na emu edru. Enye ntro na media, mame mfanchiro. Asema ahoy family kafa. E kan de kire. E kan say. Oh, I don't know why. Video no why. Oh damn. Obushan for me who video no. O de yam fan to. Da ya appointed Naana Adjumani Opoku NDC leadership. Aye the Ahoy family. Eba abonten be kan kire maami say. Maame nyanto ba se ma wo. Na bibia betumi asi because o presidential candidate for John Mahama wanda so die so obey president osori anopa enyuju ebo anopa 12 na waba be president enti maame prepare wo ho sa asem we na mu eduru pa anadi asem na asie enti a ya tre se na Opoku Adjumani yare serious pa oyare pa yesi e de ne kọ UGMC se ko tritino treatment na wo ho na anso no ama enne e de ne kọ amanone maami ọkọ yobasan aba anase ọkọ nsan mabiem na ọkọ mpo na osan ba NDC fo benya ntobo ase ama maami wei adadan mu atriti ne ho ansana waba abonten ana asem bisa yade a maami yare obi na ato na duru ana asem bisa maami we ne yade oyade yade bi ane ya hwehwe ana asem bisa ba ne sen na just 3 months in power asem kese sei epese meto Ghana for yeso na manko babia I have a little of things to show them to you that in ye the entire the sickness ya maami we am back wo ho no ehu yade we ya abo maami ehu pa. But let's go to the political side. Okuja tabrakwa ede adewei abeto abonten say foreign minister Okuja tabrakwa has activated Ghana diplomatic power and channels to facilitate the airlifting of the vice president Naana Opoku for a treatment in an undisclosed foreign country. The Okuja tabrakwa atwe ha nyina ne say waye de obetumi bia se obetumi ama ayen tentem kwan so waye de maami the vice president edina kwa amanone akwa ni treatment country aye money din chire obia no problem with that me how yes because a nipa yare na yare sabi ebetumi ahwe ne nye oman nom na mo me ya manone na obetumi nye yare sa mo mfa ne nko nye problem. But now let's go to the hypocrisy of the NDC. Abusiamfo brebi atwem brebi a atwem yewura Bawumia eyare yewura Bawumia eyare yewura Bawumia yare ye no NDC for efaye ediye den ediye politics NDC for okujata brakwa weyayo a ene ono ba be kan kire Ghana for se wa fa kwam bi so se de be betumi ede yewura ba na se ye maame opoku adman ebe kwa manone akoje ayaresa no obeka sae na nye ono nko a Professor Jampo a no so ye neutral onye politician embe a ene ya wu se san ye NDC ni kese pa ya man appointment no ebe bisa Ghana for say Bawumia leaves for Bawumia medical leaves. Why UK and not Ghana? Tio Professor Jampo say I didn't tell Dr. Bawumia yarea yem fanon ko yare sabia ewo Ghana na mom no yedene ko UK. We ye Professor Jampo yanto wase meba yenwie. Me say the hypocrisy in these thieves, it must be known by each and everyone. Yenko yanim why sunye we eyo kujata brakwa in 2021 okujata brakwa na ene picture we sa okujata brakwa ene ono na ye the leader or ye the fallen minister a ono ankasa ba abonte abeka kire Ghana for say oye di obetumi bia said ye be ya betumi de the vice president akwama no ne mana akwaji treatment no ono when he was in opposition this is what he said or say okujata brakwa is of the view public officials should be stopped from seeking medical care abroad. You see the hypocrisy. You see the hypocrisy in the NDC. But I know Kujata Brakwa te opposition no. Now he was with the view say taking government officials to abroad for treatment no. Now yeah, so much costive. Temiye pa.
The government.
Temiye pa. Don't think say I'm doing politics. I'm not doing politics. We are taking the things how it is. But I could just kwati opposition no in 2021, 17th May no. Okuja Tabrakwa was saying say the government of Ghana is spending much money on government officials treatment outside the country. Inti abanyai. Inti si Dr. Bawumia yaria. Eni kwan say yedene ko UK man ko jia yarisa. Dr. Bawumia also was a vice president. Temiyo. Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia was a vice president as Naana Opoku Adjuman, a vice president. And this Okuja Tabra kwa kase ni kwanse yema abain pain for koja yaresa ewa manone abra not oppositioner. Me bisa will say enedie what makes it right to say abain pain for ya onu mo mukuja tabra kwa ni die nimu a all process say yede ma amene be kwa abonten akoja yaresa. You see the hypocrisy. You see why I'm telling you say sankrofo so much opposition now am wadwene anye den and now they will confuse you. They will make it look say since it's not them no anything that the sitting government is doing is corrupt practice. Abrana okuja tabra kwati abontre no. Ose Dr. Bawumia yade my fan nkwa abonten koja yade sa because aban boka but ye na ono tipa wa na oye fallen minister Nkasabio sabio owo to me impose or avoid that cost no. He is the one facilitating. You see the hypocrisy. You see the hypocrisy in these guys. Now no pokue. Oyade no hey. Oma prophesy si afa ho dada o. Eyade bi omo pobreshe. Now dey tie. Okuja tabra kwa eye kontomponi na brabani. Tie video way. Tie.
The government, he asked for a policy that would ban government officials from seeking medical attention abroad.
There is the need to implement a policy of no medical treatment abroad for members of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary with immediate effect. This
recommendations to the government, he asked for a policy that would ban government officials from seeking medical attention abroad.
There is the need to implement a policy of no medical treatment abroad for members of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary with immediate effect. This
Sawate okuja tabra kwase. There must to be a policy. Hey, one person, two standard. One person, two standard. There must to be a policy immediate with immediate effect. Say, so we are buying moon penny, we are buying munipa. Now we are there. And you can see more quenya. Mautu kwan kwa mano neko sa hoya there. Okuja tabra kwa na Kenyaman America. But the same Okuja tabra kwa is telling Ghanaians and say he is doing everything he can as foreign minister to make sure say Yamame Ajmano Poku and I said Naana Jane Naana Poku ebetimi acquire the sabia wamanone ade Sister Deborah Mwakwa pa ade. Where is what is your position as a people? Why should we accept this hypocrisy? How should we have to accept a liar like this to lead us? Why? And I'm saying no money to me no money by Montino. They wanted to paint every action of the president dirty. And Emerson said, what is not good then? How can it be good today? Aden JJ no, Mami JJ no, Nana J no sena, J Naana no, Aden mo J gu ni mu na ebru ana. Seba omia yare na mo se ni kwan seba omia kwa ama no ne kwadi ayare sa. Ontra Ghana because owa aban mu e wo se ontumi nye hospitals no mani nye yie. No yari awaji treatment. Okay, good. But adenti ene mo de ne ba ye ne de. Mo ye ni kude. Na mo de maame ne kwa ama no so onkwaje ya tsa. Ade maame no osom boss ne doctor na. Enye the same role na ono hold ene no. Enye the same role na doctor ba omi hold before ana. Enye the same role. You see the inconsistency in these guys. Say your mind banu utuminya adaje etrase etie won their actions, their thoughts, and then you come to a conclusion. Say anything that these people talk about, we are just a fanfu. Crow the John and omodi Ghana for. Crow the John and omodi Ghana for. Sakwa we on kind of correct. Okuja tabra kwa na on kind of correct. When he was in opposition, he said also something else. He said, there is no need for government officials to fly in the first class, what they call plane. So, mutu kwa yakobabia. Okay. Or see, what they call overspending and a Ghana buying paint for a year when they fly in first class. Okuja tobra kwa call bet na yebisa ne say, NTN. So Babe Tukwanya, Obefa economy, and answer Obefa first class. Or say he will what? Supply, or I say he will provide himself personally with what? With first class flight. So one kind of crew. Mami I just say one more kwaba. Say, and this is a party for the fools. No one gets sense in the party. They talk at random. Yeah. Unsensible statement. Obi a wote opposition a wapirichi se Ghana buying officials. Omu tu kwanya. Omo the first class in the core. First class no omo de kwane bo up aban no kuro. Obo amane aban ka. When yakwanya babedi Minister of Foreign Affairs. They be south sentia na wabai. Tu kwanya. Kwine ben so no befa so tu kwanya. O se aban ma economy take it. One kasa wudi sika beka ho. Na wafa first class. What does it tell you? It tell you say, and some now to opposition now cannot. You know say they were lies. You know say it was unsensical. You know say it was not making any sense. You know say it cannot happen because as a minister you must to fly in a different condition which will permit you to have a comfortable flight. Ebia na ukwe ubekenkan niema ubesua niema bi ansa wakudru ba bia wokro. But when you were in opposition, because you wanted power, you lied to the people. And I'm saying, we here 2 minutes. Moody intro the Chile Ghana for, and then my vice president, he knew the atono. But what I say, Nam de Muka Yentino, Yen so ye can be Chile say, leave Jen Opoku Ajima Poku, Nana Jane, Papa, your friend say, Jen Naana Opoku, leave her in Ghana to be treated. And this rough and a kind. Ghana for a more intimate who are not there. I'm not enjoying about somebody's head. I'm not enjoying about somebody's head. But Abana ye the bought you know, actually ha, ye the beboba. Intimunya na no pokwa jimai. Ewo Ghana my move. Man in treating home. Aye, also a Ghana ni. Said a Ghana form kwada, Ghana form army for, Ghana form mpanyfo binum enya ya the secretary or Ghana or muguno. Mami wonu su bia de na besie. Aya sem bi so. Said the name kwanse Dr. Bawumia. Eni kwanse Dr. Bawumia enkwaji treatment ewa amanone no. Ana wo sen kontra Ghana na onji treatment wo ho. And then the best say so you good vice president no. Me asem am so me bi someone say I didn't any kwan say maami we so ntena oman num na onji treatment wo ho. Why are you denying that? Okuja tabrakwa. What is the difference between Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Bawumia up to 2024 and Naana Opoku from 7 January 2025? They were all holding the same positions. And it's a mobile bonten beka we in a period where you were in opposition, and I'm going to say flying government officials outside at a cost to the state. Why do you want to tell me say no cost to the state? Well, it is you guys that you make Ghana becomes what? Partisan state. Because me to way, mami way, owua, me nyam fasuo film. Otiasia, me nyam fasuo film. And I don't care. The reason why I'm talking about this woman say, the way that you treated Dr. Bawumia when you were asking, but why should Bawumia go for treatment in UK and not Ghana? No, it is the same thing that I'm asking you. Say, I didn't hear wo facilitate say Opoku Ajimai. Ebetumi atukwanya kwa amanone akosa ne ho yade. And at this time, ufa pili na yede chewa na. And then this time no, private jet no, free ana. And then this time, the fallen hospitals no, yempiaka na. And now because NDC ni no, it is accepted. Mo ye mamofo. NDC for ye mamofo. Na wa mami we, wo sa mami we so. Oh, asem. Mami when who asem. Some maybe he don't know the people that he's dealing with. Mami we who name the people that she is dealing with. And this is for your papa. Omunye papa. Anytime that they come in government, somebody must die. They are prophesizing to hold that. They can't to hold that. Said John Mahama will be a president without vice president. Only Zameboa, you have to say,
24 hours, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama. Hey, yes, 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 hey, yes. Oba, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same. As to a down, yeah, who better, yeah, hospital, yeah, who better, yeah, metro, yeah, who better, yeah, market, yeah, who better, yeah, hey, yes, 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 hey, yes. Say when you so better, mama, mama, so. Say when you so better, mama.
yes, Dabusha, Yezu, na Utieno. Now, video where me for the reason show the video. Yes, very interesting video. Me pesa wonya so na wontie pa. Ya ma me je na no pokwajima. Nenkra, nenkwa. Nenkwa. I don't know where it stands. Yes. Him me upon someone I could say history is going to repeat itself. And this has a history of killing their vice president. Now, area reason show I can send be her during one of his shows. Yes, or can send be on your video be and oh boy. The uncle go to video with you.
Iti Yezu Mishiki Yezu ma bibi antreke Yezu eno ano no ay Mortis Yezu ai a class eno an se twere Yezu eti sofo ne say wa wura honhom wiase wokoka na wen Accra FM say Mahama be come more than 4 years udi tie na analysis no na foto is event happen tia ha say adwuma hyehyɛ.
Exactly. And that is number one thing that we look at.
And Oman Penny Mama, I want to give you so about 2028.
2028.
Osha timeline number Obeko.
In the timeline that I'm looking at, there are two branches of time that I'm looking at.
Okay.
In the first branch of time, he was running for presidency. And he was able to complete all the 4 years, and then he's able to continue to the 8 years and concluded. Because in that time, in 2027 March, there's going to be an agreement and an arrangement in court, and certain things will be adjusted. And then when those things are adjusted, he will be placed on to continue the journey. But then in the main branch of time that I'm looking at, he will run for presidency. In 2 years' time, he will have no vice president, and then he will conclude the election in 4 years.
80 also for say Mahama betwa first 4 years na wi what the adi be fam aside to another one also e bedum abi kra onya vice president ene che say ni Burkina Faso no awo ene je say Burkina Faso no a so ya ka Burkina so amote ase on Burkina Faso no a na we no amafo test grounds no ma sha ase de e map strategy ni ba na supreme leader la no ana anyway ode yentie no na bia ema we review tia ha.
Oh, asemo and some no o can say ana ya confused.
It is established.
First branch of time no or running for 2028, but after 2 years no he has no vice president.
No, that one he will continue with his vice president.
Okay.
And complete his time.
Okay.
Yes. The one that is running
from 2028 assembly came.
Yeah, to 2028. So we're running for when it's running in the timeline is 2 branches. Let me break it down again.
Okay.
The first branch of time, he will run for the presidency, close the presidency at the 4 years term, which is 2028 is done.
Okay.
It's done for. There is no going forward and everything.
Okay.
The one it will extend to 2020 this thing for the extra 4 years after 2028, which is going to run.
Yeah.
is going to run, and in that time, that's the main branch of time itself. He will go, and in 2 years from now, as I speak to you right now, 2 years specifically from now, I'm not drunk tea this morning. 2 years specifically from now, he will be able to run for the presidency. But before he will run for 2028, 2027, he will have no vice president.
Hey, 2028 now, or running Norway near, or be maintaining the vice president.
He will have none. There is no vice president.
So for me, in the emphasis 2028, no, from CCR copying 2028, no, we are running with Prof J Naana.
Yes, let me give you a speech. There's a nice speech. I'm hearing it in time. Okay. You know, time when you move through time, you're looking at what is happening in real life. Unless you try to tamper with it. I'm not tampering with anything now. Now, unless.
There is something fishy. Momenti ye pa. Tony Yabo Mwakwa, Sansona Felicia, Mwakwa ye pa. Momenti asem na so for na kan ye pa.
I have to.
But when you say a grandma tea will be dry pa. Hey, I swear. Hey, grandma tea will be dry serious. I'm telling you. Say grandma tea sa kwai kase will be dry serious. Hey, no be on why ready to America for the coast ekobani. Ure tea grandma wa hasi tea no.
Somebody's asking about the outside world and foreign aid, and I've heard the president of the country you are studying in slashing aid. You see, one of the questions we have now, he hasn't asked himself, how much leaves our continent to his country? He hasn't asked himself that. They think it's just charity. It is not. At the right time, we'll also take action. And it will not be funny.
Ote grandma, ote vice president. O say, oh no, what is a Trump will yell at your home? Hey, you think it's funny? Obi or no prepare no one Trump dia ko see any. Now what work can some time we say.
Etiabusia said that American children so 10 years. In the realms of spirit. NDC have a history of killing their vice president. Into yourself will be neka and nipa oko Accra FMBA NDC ni into some no kind of bonte or tifri hen. But see ato abafo. Apart from that, John Mahama is trying to bring in coup d'etat. When some chance or tested the grounds, Supreme Court judge, the Chief Justice, Upper Kwambis were in a free home. I mean, we be in a free home, and more about a sacrifice to make sure, say, able to near more than 4 years in government. Someone who, Mama Rita. Tony Yabo said, I blame those who voted for him. Why you blame them? The Ebano. The Ebana no edre. The Ebano. The Ebon minus no edre. Yaya so dren tie nyankopon metwe aso. Ye be ye kese wo man no. Ma me ne yade na o yare no enye yade kwa o. Enye yade kwa. Enye yade kwa. Man, I'm not. I'm not glorifying a death or the sickness of somebody. Now you're the vice president, but it is history. This is what we know about the NDC. He himself NDC for omo the moja the team omo party. Atubebe, Mahama the moja ne be the president for the first time in our country. Aye, Orankasan the boss. When you fast we don't know what happens to him. Yes, and I mean, also looking at her face shows she's not well at all. and her family need to pray hard. Yeah. So my man voice in a year. The way the woman was talking, she was not well. One was a censor. Yet to by way, ya mommy will be the vice president. Why you not from the scene? Mamina ira. Joyce Bawan is the vice president today. Our cousin to John Mahama. And now Ibrahim Mahama is the de facto prime minister. And it is one Gonja family who is running the country's affairs. Mamene yare, ye dene baho because we need somebody or ye weak so that we can command on her. Now, there's something wrong. There's something that I don't understand. Mamu is so wua. Why na dribe the vice president? I feel you got to about you vice president and I say a automatic appointment. I ask them sebe for two team. Se mami wake up a be now. And yet the presidency, they are handing over the vice president. And the mami so who now? Why the bedi the vice president position? And this if we better by Nipa and say Mahama will do the letter appointment. Fatu team na bisao. Where yen ya come for. Ye trans ma ye di introduce yen say there is something called state capture. MPP ni achim for fagana mine. And then you go to abani we. Why na actually say na wato government state wato government properties. Achim ni bay. And I want to say you say here the Ghana Ghana Japadi channel. What to be that? Untere. But they deceive us. They raise state capture and they caution never mind. I say mention video now say make sure say the hydrocarbon multi-purpose depot no yaton. Yaton wa mahwan. Ibrahim Mahama na damfo. Madi Burkina Faso president. A obekom na Ibrahim Mahama na akoshe sa man na chi edi sika beto sa ade no. Na me Africa mo akwa. And the vice president na say you be assembly koso in the presidency. Obebie na no aka asem different no. Also na oyare. Ade and this amanyu ko there. The bia oboba abamu ajiso obi wu. Da bia ndisi for be wa ban mu bia ajiso obi wu. Obi ewu aban ni nyina. Ehefa na omudi omuti akɔhye. Kwan ben so na atamas fast wu ye. Mr. Ata, de na to no ewo pale ewo gym. De na to no wu ye. Mimi asamoro kuna mama sere. Or say everyone in the NDC party will be afraid to become a vice president. Would you agree to be traso? Ye do be traso de tintim to me. Ye do be traso ye near mama ye party na jina ne nine so. That is what is going on. Because en na mama no wu a Joyce Bauer never be a vice president because my meaning you know Joyce Bauer need the president. No, honestly, the cousin of John Mahama, friends and family government, nepotism. Sami Jamfi, waka wanwatu. Now to me a press conference for 70 hours. Akufo-Addo nepotism, friends and family, and then the Gonja mafia alone is ruling the country. To the point to say, a president car is ride by somebody on your part of the security apparatus. Waka wanwatu where you any and I will hear. We see ye. Sepa nka sabio Akufo-Addo ekoba bi nanka aban ka bejina nanka sabio hwan bedia to kura nkese ono de so ka na ye the secretary to the president. Nanka Ghana or Sabibilibeno, your friend is saying, what is the name of the Naana the cousin now Sabibilibeno? Your friend is saying, Monkani Dreamame. Oh, Mammy Esther Makwa pa. Your friend is saying, Kura. You be dear to Slim Mine now, as I see radio, Onano. Oh, what is the name? Oh, your friend is saying, Kura. You really free ding. Gabi, what should I come? Nanka Kufuado Koba Bipa, yeah, Evans with us a pa. Nanka Nanado Danko Kufuado Koba Bipa. What in the come? A motorcade see ya Nanka Gabi Afri, the driving side of Nanado Danko Kufuado car. So no neka. And Kagana and Kajisagana Dambutu. But the Gonja family, dear, it is authorized. You see, he who come for equity must to come with the clean hands. And you must to practice what you preach. But everybody is silent. You treated the Anesha man for no mobiak and atum. And everything can happen. And DC leadership can do whatever they want. Nobody is questioning. Because all the civil societies and all the VIP in the society, or more one no one come to me akasano. That is what the people do. Omba power. Na ya sisa o manager pade de amount crofo kakra bi. Etine your radio stations are almost so no pa no mu bi omu radio wa. Adwuma omo ye ne ho no. E chense de omo opposition omo ye campaign. Ene say radio stations bi eso anopa no ye omo morning show a ayet say the MPP da so te akonwa so. Whatever the NDC does is accepted. Whatever goes on is accepted. And the mami we said na kwa mano na koje ayaresa no. NDC for ni Ghana 4.4 na say kama. But Dr. Bawomi ade yare a under Ghana no wu. The truth must be talked. The truth must be said. Aye. No kureno, and was saying can no kureno, say truth to the power, no matter whatever it be the issue. And then propaganda. Say sabio. But we yare na yenya ndisi for emo mo be comment this way. Child inte ba we ko UK akupe treatment. Na maami we yare na yesi edene kwa ama no ne akoji treatment. Na obi ankasa mfa ho wo man no mu a. It means there is something fishy in the system. The opinion leaders, the stakeholders, and Krofana was saying neutral in the society to protect the sanity in the society. No? They have turned themselves to be NDC people. And the NDC amanyo konuba by moi, near Jessica Momo. I near to talk as the Amawon. Near more positions in some institutions. Now you come one tomb, you the press started so more carry. Now you that's one at home. No more yet or more pay. This hypocrisy must to stop in the country. And then I suffer for Jimmy Fwan Kwasiafua. Now mo soda no pa. When them mo puppet, Adani political puppet. No. Where are you guys? The dollar na mo de tia Kwasieda no pa wa so de dem no. And then another free kunya. So na dollar da 14. And then it is beyond 15. Muhuwe. Then atomo. Ya prasta mano. Ya pam mano de aduane ahye na maka mano atom. Kofi oduro kwase ampani ni. Mo yin. Emoja na ye hwie gu Jubilee House ho. Ye se ho ye di musuo e ka Jubilee House. Enipa da sani. O de mo party. Da obedi akonwa bia na agise nipa wu. Agise nipa tintin 24 wu. Agise mpanfo mo party mu wu. Ansana mo party etuma gina na so. Na eboboba obi abeje ne chefa. Aye. Said the echo sound like 2016, 2015, 2014. Our filling station say a copy patrato and in Binton. It will come back again. Yes. Because remember, say history does never fail to repeat itself. History, no, it will never fail to be repeating it because it is said, history always repeats itself. Until they see now, no, it will happen again because that is how they do their things. That is how they do their things, and they cannot change. You see, sabi or sebo. Me hona me tare ne hona be tumi asesa. When you suban the sanity. Enti Jena no pokwaji my dear. Yankopon, I don't want to say it. I remember me afro or say mysterious deaths. Yes. Mysterious deaths around the power of the NDC when they're in power. Are they? What about? And I don't know, I'm born in war. And I don't know since 2009, I'm born in war. And no, that's what I say. We didn't fear a dual working back 81 good years. And then, but that's what I say. We didn't China, we did Osa Otonium. Bonania Dremonia Womutimunti, Afibia, just a mumu penny be woo. What do you moya day? Sacrifice na. I say, a mojahiegu amanyoku be antise. A mojahiegu amanyoku antise. Ebedi wanima so maya. What are you expecting? But Ghana for say no na yepe. Aye. Ghana for say no na omo pe. Omo gusu sa eyezu eyezu tie.
24 hours, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama. Hey, yes, 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 hey, yes. Oba, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same, yes, the same. As school are down, yeah, who better, yeah, hospital, yeah, who better, yeah, metro, yeah, who better, yeah, market, yeah, who better, yeah, hey, yes, hey, yes, hey, yes. Say when you so better, mama, was also. Say when you so better, mama.
Eti eyezu.
Eti abusia for eyezu pa. Eyezu zupa. Ye kuma man for their protect ye to me. Ye kuma man for their protect to me. Dear ye bia. It is just a matter of killing people. Me akwa mi nkonto, me mo akwa wapa. Enye me na me kan o. Enye se mi twa ntro. Enye se mi twa ntro akire. Kai, remember your history. And you say when you know your history, you understand where you come from and where you who you are. For records and for what we know, and it said Professor Atta Ewuye, no a vice president. John Evans Fifi Atames Ewuye, Abra no ye president. Am I the one who is prophesying? Osofu biso abetra ho aka kire yen say, ye ma me je opoku agimai, ne quiet ya, okotra NDC station e kan. So am I the one who is prophesying? It is something said already. Yenya hoy family mamo be kan say everything can happen. Eda ye de mami we ebe gina wo say obeye the vice presidential candidate for the NDC. Yashisha na dada. Said ye sabio Professor Evans Atamesu wu ye. I ekosi ene. There is no autopsy to prove what causes death, no. Sa anso na betimi ato mami we yengu de to no. Fatu team say a woodie a one this amanyo kum. Nipa kum adware won. Amanfo moja na omode omo party ni it is their history. Eyene yekum judge for, yekum police for, yekum former ministers of state, yekum president, former prime ministers, yechi won ku won just to maintain power. Hiti mami when into me finding a sacrifice na. Ah, Mia. Mami we ena yen to me kuno finding a sacrifice. Fama to me entering this yaman yoko no one. Me you bet to me like a video no. Aye. You bet to me like a video no na why a day. Wash and so aka home. And who hear me pa. Liking and sharing is very, very important for me. Enti maamene de ha ankopɔ ma nkwawai ai ankrofo edo do ho akɔbɔ mu minim how long we going to live because it's very sad. They are used to and that's what they do. Ti wonkwa ankopɔ nkwa ne nim ba bia wonkwa hye enye time no be the time wo. The reality, the fact remains say the dying of people, leaders in the party during when they're in power, no, is so mysterious. And to vice president, now we are was your NDC member. I was saying, Wabusi and Fonsha Center Fundaka because they automatic there. Aye. Eti, Yamame, we are the first woman to be vice president of the country. But unfortunately, you have associated yourself with people that you can never trust. Inti bo ho ban ye, mo abusi anfo mo mpaya mu edru ma wo na de besi obia enim. Memfa segment we ento ne yenko yanim. But answer be ko yanim no. Twa na no kakra.
24 hours on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama, on your knowledge, mama. Hey Jesus, hey Jesus, hey Yesa, hey Yesa, hey Yesa, hey Yesa, hey Jesus, hey Jesus. Oba yes same, yes same, yes same, yes same. Asku adan ye hu beto ye, hospital ye hu beto ye, metro ye hu beto ye, market ye hu beto ye. Hey Jesus, hey Jesus, hey Yesa. Say when you so better, mama, was also. Say when you so better, mama.
Yes, Abusia into the young to us na young call your name. Abusia for yes, I'm say Ajigana fa. Now I want to tell you. I always say, one politician's talker. You must to sit down and listen to them well on what they say. Pacho Timipa, New Year Samuel Okono said the NDC has already dragged her to grave. Wow. Yamina Miko. Hi. But say, Garam say na kosu or my no. John Mahama already told Ghanaians say he is not ready to fight against Galamsey because of some reasons. Okay. But during the campaign, no kreno hoyenka and throw near church raman for. He did throw no kakra near the no kreno swap. He did not throw no kasia pa near the no kreka krebia from. Mahama told Ghanaians to say he will not fight against Galamsey. But Mahama nama all cannibal bino. Say on to me kuntia Galamsey because of some reasons no. Now the NDC communication machinery non so and number be air kill na another danko kufuado for being the cause of Galamsey. What has happened now? Then assessor. And now Mudia Kunyano, dear Nessisa, has something changed in the Galamsey? No, it is getting worse. Adentia, because Mahama himself knows, say, Galamsey no ye sources of fan to Ghana. And on him say, ni party na yefeni NDC no, politically, during campaign, he is 75% sponsored by Galamsey dealers. Enti some microphone no man is come and the campaign or the win abano. Onim so babedi to me own to me ye omo, own to me pamomo, own to me fasa bio soldier for my uncle kunti awon. But your ben say, Obama won't see come wire juma. Aye. Timmy pa. John Mahama told Ghanaians when he's in opposition, said, he cannot fight against Galamsey because Galamsey is sources of employment to the NDC, what them call to the NDC what? To the NDC foot soldiers. Enti ono no oba on to me kuntia Galamsey. But Ghana for yentie. Ghana for yentie asem na papa ne kan ye no. Ena ye nam so ne koto aba. Se Mahama ba be kuntia Galamsey. Mahama be boa ma Galamsey so atwa. Mahama na ye the hero. Mahama na be ma Galamsey so atwa wo ye man mu. Ena ye koto aba. Now I want you to listen to this video. The person won't see a video where ye. Nothing must say. The intention of the NDC in Galamsey and they say Galamsey must to keep on happening in the country because to Mahama, Galamsey is sources of what? Of what them call revenue to the country until what? Until Ghana's economy wants to be in their feet, we cannot ban Galamsey from the state. I take video way here, pa. Take video way.
And because of Galamsey, Senior Mikayan, gold is the one holding Ghana now. And because of Galamsey, we were 80 tons per year. After year, 135 tons. Additional, be brave free Galamsey. So we must be prepared to sacrifice in the fight against Galamsey. Say production will come down. It means that exports will reduce. And then also the issue of employment. Because employment in the Kodani Bebre, Galamsey. Into Okutia Galamsey, a lot of the young people who currently are surviving with Galamsey would also get unemployed.
And this is what John Mahama Kachira will say. Ghana for the Druba Biana, we need to lash ourselves. John Mahama Kachira yen say, what is going on? He said, you cannot stop Galamsey because Galamsey produce a higher amount of our peel annual internal production. It is a kutia Galamsey. The annual internal production no ebe low. And second, the Galamsey employs people. It is a kutia Galamsey. The party full soldiers. Any the financiers are motion this year or sponsor no. Omunye juma nye. Eba ne say the habe brawo. So ene say Sonia kese Galamsey achiga na afa. You don't need to be worried. Because the only president who wanted to fight against Galamsey was Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. Our only party members crash here. Our dinner ankasa in the presidency. AC Jose, he is ready to even to put his presidency online. But Ghana for Yantiasia, we did not understand. Any yakofo moaba, ene Omwan kasa did the Ghana, the tires payers money no. Yedi be co-sponsor who the Galamseyers. Because omu ye party for ma. Omu here sikasa omu de be Galamsey na kasiem. Omu here support from their party. Omu sponsor amana ye den ababedin kunim. And they must sponsor the what? The party-based Galamseyers. Ti asema sami jemfi. Okani 2023 mu
fraudulent fight against Galamsey. Of Nanado's fraudulent.
The government.
You know why I'm saying so. Report which has settled the issue of whether or not President Akufo-Addo is committed to the fight against Galamsey once and for all. Because any reasonable, objective mind who reads that report, 37-page report, authored by the German-trained cardiothoracic surgeon, former Minister for Environment and Science, and chairman of the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, will come to the inevitable conclusion that Nanado's proclaimed fight against Galamsey was a sham, it was a scam, it was a charade, and that the real intention behind that proclaimed fight, as some of us have always maintained, is that he just wanted to kick out legal Ghanaian small-scale miners from the mining industry and help his government and party functionaries to take over the illicit Galamsey menace with their Chinese and other foreign collaborators. And nothing more. That is what the Frimpong Boateng report shows. And that is why our brothers are jumping over themselves very desperately to discredit the report, discredit Frimpong Boateng, including insulting him.
So when you give your wife 100 Ghana cedis to go to the market, you realize that the 100 Ghana cedis cannot do anything. She'll be complaining. Are we all not feeling the consequences? We are all feeling it. So the reason why we won't ban small-scale mining, those who want to do it legally and responsibly, and we want to even support you by bringing the licensing regime to your doorstep at the district level, by giving you demarcated areas for mining, by giving you training, by giving you equipment, is so that you can produce a lot of gold responsibly without destroying the environment. And when you produce the gold, don't give it to an Indian man. Don't give it to a Chinese. Don't give it to a Ghanaian who doesn't have a license. Don't give it to a Burkinabe. Give it to a Ghanaian who has been licensed by the Ghana Gold Board. Because that Ghanaian who has been licensed has been given money, taxpayers' money, by the Gold Board to buy all the gold for the government. So that the government will go and sell and bring all.
Samuel Fiankasa na numutom. I said the government of Ghana is now going to finance the NDC Galamseyers to do Galamsey more equipped. Na why na Ibrahim Mahama ababaye the Galamsey owner of the country because or no and a gold na Galamsey for no beye ni nyina no omode mana kwa akoton. Galamsey for no gold no betuno ye di nyina be ma Ibrahim Mahama no na be kwa akoton. Enti from we are going to fight against Galamsey to we are going to promote Galamsey with the taxpayers' money. What sense does it make? Abusia, Yakofa, Edabetu Yahosono, no. We said we wanted change, but we rather went for what? Worsening situation. And then Ghana and Sunyina aye worse. Nina say, Babiobeko be and Suna say, because Mahama cannot fight Galamsey. Mahama is benefiting from Galamsey. The NDC leadership is benefiting from Galamsey. The district commands are benefiting from Galamsey. The regional chairmen are benefiting from Galamsey. So they will not fight it. Because of Galamsey, and I'll just say that MPP4 and the Galamsey, no, what to do a boy, bear down your head in shame. It is over. I was saying to you, Afenyo Markets on his issues concerning the promotion of Galamsey by the NDC government. Here we are. We
all are aware of the challenges we face as a nation, specifically on Galamsey. I believe that Galamsey became a major issue
during the elections. Our friends who have the reins of government now made some promises to the nation. Today, they are now the apostles who are promoting Galamsey. They are using their numbers to now establish what has become known as a Galamsey board. Now, this Galamsey board, from what transpired on the floor, government, instead of investing in agriculture, government, instead of investing in the women banking, government, instead of investing in the 24-hour economy policy that it's used for the elections, is rather giving 4.6 billion cedis to Galamsey operators. If you bring an enactment and you say your focus is on small-scale mining, all of us in this country know small-scale mining is Galamsey. So the question is this government really ready to fight Galamsey? How do you say you are establishing a new entity that is going to monopolize the purchase of gold from small-scale miners, otherwise known as Galamseyers, and now you are going to regulate Galamsey, and you are going to give them money? Sisi Aban say, ono edisike bema Galamsey for na wabwa na Galamsey no akoso. Chese then ekoso wa Ghana. Mi bisa o. Yensuo na ese na yen nyina ye ka ho asem no. Yen nuanu mendisi for omo ba ben mo si da bi. Wo kai a omo amukọ nsuo na no koye press conference. Ka say yensuo no asesa kala. Emigidi say yen nyina ya de ehan. Enti no sa wo ba na wa be ye ni yie and the researcher rather no wo de 4.6 billion and the command crofo say omonfa enko say yensuo. Yesi munja ya musio after all Chinese for no ema yen crofo ni sika ede ye enti sia no aban na nkasa pese odi ni sika kohiem enti mo de beboa mo party members na party members no etumi ede akwakọ ye Galamsey ye ke bibi tremo say with time the true colors of this NDC will be known. I think today you've all seen them, but let us assure you, we the mighty minority, we are assuring you that we'll continue to be constructive in our criticism. We will not criticize for the sake of criticizing, but would hold their feet to the fire. We've been in government before and we know the challenges, and of course we admit that whilst in government we didn't get it all right. Of course, it's the reason why our friends are in government today. So if you are in government today, your job is to do it right and make it better, but not what we are seeing today. It is very sad, and we want the people of Ghana to take note.
Abushan aye. That is what you would offend your markings. Ewo edekachere yen. Say the propaganda that the NDC used during the campaign time to tell Ghanaians say they are coming to fight Galamsey no was a lie. They are rather promoting Galamsey. And in fact, how can you allocate such huge sums of money to go Ghana Gold Board also by best abrashe? Abra unimpe face sa business no. Apart from omo their mining lands omo ye big companies ya omo tu omo go do omo ankasa eswa e de kwa amanone. All the rest are involved in Galamsey. Now now say oh be ye the why budget they are more automatically it means say your intention is to what? Is to promote them. is to make them comfortable. Your intention is to make sure, say, the people who are going to benefit from Galamsey are NDC people. Because eyemo number more lances, eyemo number more musikano, and only whom you know you are going to give the money to. That is exactly what the NDC want to do. And the hypocrisy of the NDC will be exposed every day and every night and every time. Because some now mokaka ye no, and that's all media no, and that's all social in the media no so. So we still have the power and the knowledge to bring the videos back and play them to you. Said your Musi attacking another Danko Kufuor, so the president and the chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Obe to me the to me be okitani bia. Awie Galamsey within 24 hours no. And then Mahama the CEO of the CEO of the Ghana, the chief or one of the kind of say the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And the Kwana na to bet to me afaso. And they stop Galamsey no. And then John Daraga Dramani Mahama with the same power to do the same thing that they were demanding from Nanado. And to just a ban and say I got them saying no, and that's so cost. Hey, I sense a bet ya know a comment section box. Actually, I will say there is something fishy. Samobekaya, when we were getting close to election, unsettlingly, Galamsey became a big problem in the country. Asabio and so binon kura no mwasha again their color back no. And this if we employ foreigners. Mube share that be saying so the campaign. Omuwi and omu anko, omugu urenum and omugu suye Galamsey. And this if we na form buy. Say some better no mako pamomo. I asem sebe. Now look at the NDC propaganda secretary, Sami Jamfi. Bra no muti opposition. Yebo video no utimi frɛ na wahyɛ wadwen.
Venue which symbolizes our concerns about the
video ya wo hwei eye Sami Jamfi a hey we the NDC for already yankopo hey nkrofo we so di omo achia wo nidi o se wo di omo achia wo na se wo di omo achia uti umfan to sumyeso because you always have something to say about them because some criminally organized people, criminal bands of thieves and come Sami Jamfi in opposition SSR media do muko jina nsuo ho koye press conference and then there na sesa it is worse momenti Sami Jamfi video way mabie followers na tum utumi frɛ na wachre wadwen sanso na ubetumi I like video na mame pa na wasan a share video no aka ho amame and then so na your first time waba platform we so a best subscribe to the channel say be there be a ba life wa ubenya nkai boss ya ba na waba be kan ho ubentie Sami Jamfi video we but meanwhile utumi frɛ na wachre wadwen
debilitating effects of unbridled illegal mining on our water bodies, our forest reserves, and the ecology in general. The current state of affairs reflects the monumental failure of President Akufo-Addo's so-called fight against Galamsey.
Hello.
In fact,
Yes, sir. Good evening, bro.
Good evening to you.
RAZ Media California Tifo in Anumley. Ade asante ma me monitor na obi so nwuram.
Yeah, of course.
Who say ye nuanu man DC for there. Say o hwe omo a ye follow omo from 92 up to now no. Sa no mo so bante. Who say omo no nye nipa. Enye 92 club so hwe NDC for mo history. From 79 ya besi na me no kase no. Omo no opposition atembi am ho kire omo. Eti anytime bia omo opposition bia no because omo no ni aba mu a omo nidi because say ya fa ya gene nye bibi enya ho faso pa de NDC for ni omo ni sa nim de no eti omo de no say ye mra aba mu na ye fa minsi bia ye fa nidi na ya na ye me ya no say anytime bia so MPP benya opportunity no obenya clear cases as what me deal with them by jailing them and shut them out no na ya no renuado they are masofo kwasiafo bi ase bi o mo no obedi ewu no di akire pepa chew because MPP na ka ya serious pa and the Kufo and the Nanadwa okay NDC for bebre they are not in the political system no bi okay be clean system no but ya hwe ha masakrofo no omo de sa na da ne sa no man na omo opposition no na wa bi o se ne omo ka no mba mba ya na da bia na ya ka sa sen we aye se Ghana fo no na ya hu ni pase ye no ye hu se ade we ye kokko pa so na ye se kwa koshim eti ne ye hu de ye hu hwe o ene wan obi a o facilitate ama ma ye de na kwa abroad akohwe na ya de ye hwan ya yo kuja to very good but akuja to ye to me facilitate my the vice president ko abroad ko hwe no na omo de kwa America na
ene de kula mitu America omo de ko mba no pani akuno nyo no
because the idea me visa stand say you are going to deal with Donald Trump and funny let's say busuo born there do go Donald Trump go ma o dey dey say ma o well but me no that na ma me no yes and the press conference na o she yes military leaders and this police form ban for na o kasa no wo dey na wo dey hwe the facial expression ma me no just ma me ntia po na say ata message no bi ye odum sa o hwe na nim kura po na hwe o hwe say video na boy ko mo dey hwe na nim pa na hwe say ne ma me no
years
ago no be 2 years ago na some fa say be 1 year ago no dey hwe na nim na hwe sa time no oh ma me na ye mre be Muhammad e o de be ne no ma we o de ne ko na o de ne ba kura po na wanya ka say obekuno de obekuno ye mo mpa se wonkuno de bat ba bia duro de na me twere ma no na busuafo mo mani mre ayesa ojam de on fa firi nana
David
kana ho
on fanche
dino NDC fo aye no model no de menim se nyankopon na na ma o ba ba di akonwa se na be ya Ghana fo a o mo ye ungrateful beings because nipa o ye bonua ye wo hu me no me pesa nipa na sem na Ghana fo so demonstrate am ye hu se ampa o mo ye nipa se bi ododo na te se abo akoko odidi wi a na o me a na de na no hwetwi fam enu bi because se na o hwe MPP since 92 I ba Fourth Republic o hwe MPP na o hwe NDC o mo track records a na there's no way say obeja MPP ho to akoka se okofa NDC amana ba bidi so because looking at all everything being equal no na o hwe obi te say Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia na all policies and programs directions and points are what the be fight even galamsey ya se ma yekan o hwe se ma Bawumia kan nyina na ye no ma ebe man nkura no omaduma nse ye o but ebe mo ma koso ye omaduma but on be protect aduma no se ne be ya obi abe na aduma kama na ense asase ana se ense nsu but those Mahama obegina ho ye onim ne onka o se yan na no mo ye didi just a man woni he don't have any clue. It is no mo didi ya na automatically mo say forest no mo say nsu na Ghana for na be say anom no this NDC party na masomba be boaga no be rather no omo ba be say o man no na me ne na me ya say omo be wi all this can na no omo ko opposition na any 1 month no ma start team
ana komo de wo
omo no komo because now here NDC here omo stronghold asem to omo na say omo da bubu a o de mo ne asichire ko omo no mo bo mo sem the same mo ne asichire say muntaka di bi ko kuma say pam no
yeah
the difference between MPP especially Akanfo the type of people we are dealing with it say the dokono ne nchinam bank line na Bawumia kono ko ka digita asema ye be yi nchinam na ye yi dokono aja digita na ebe mananya sika dada no edina eduba bia NDC ni bia boda wuro se na koma ba ahokyere wo Ghana onya aduane ni wo mo bibia ya aduane kyese aduane nko na omo de omo gina ho ntie se omo abaye omo didi de Ghana wo se dede bia ni ho because me MPP ni no me ni adaje se me kwa ko dede se kom de me because se kom de me se me ko ye adwuma
yes
me mfa mani nkoto aban bi so se gise aban ba asa na madidi but it have been NDC for more habit from JJ the time nyina say JJ kom na o man de ko ye ku
yeah
leader na nkasa nkasa no de kom de ko ye ku it is a leader team de kom ko ye ku a what do you expect from his followers eti omonka asem asebio edi mpuntu obeba o man da bia ne ombedi nko a na omodwene ho eti NDC ni be didi a na se even wo nya dan na mkrompo na o prefer Say what to kwaya wo gene say bia wo be bra na wa bra na wa ye japade bia ja wo ma na say wa ye japade bia ja wa busua no and this ni dodo na mo nyene sa ni obedi ne ne e na kom aba say na udi kan no dokono no ne nchenam no yate so ana yente so ba say yente so no obenya sika no bia wi akoto bi so ho dem che no nti ne board ko betu mato because ne o abai mu nti obenya nchenam no bia di bra betua 20 Ghana ko 30 Ghana ko bonu say en koso no be koso no ko benya sika no bia wia but eno de me fa to hono mo na fe ma me na se o model ko se ahifon me mbom pa se mo fa no ko America de because ya do ko America de ahwa na Trump akwa kokun wo because o se obe de le with Trump de on hwe ma o me de le with him or obedi ka de le with you na and also na me no Ghana for bi no hypocrisy especially best out and ma di no ho ya papa adentina ese ye de ye politics so asem na o kan no me na me follow no my own follow no na adumire ya because so we sa na I say obi mbom de o right say otimi ka asem before obi ahụ na say bi Dr. Baumia na o yare ya ko medical check up Britain Baumia have been in Britain for many years.
Yes.
Wa japade nyina ho na wata abone bla nyina kira de ho akọ school nyina wi no kwampa metima ka say nya Ghana politics kwampa ka Baumia is a citizen in UK. Onu mom ni right say oba Britain. Ana Ghana for adwom say Baumia ba Britain na say Ghana for the sponsor na. Even grass Ghana for the sponsor na. Baumia qualify say otim ba Britain be hwe no ho yade. Ye nyina na e bompa say Ghana no e betuma nya hospitals. Any what they saying environment will be a bit my friend who yare abrochira akwa we brother me no nyina be kan kure say Italy ha obitim yare bitim obi wo Italy ha no ebia na Italy doctors ho be ka say mo transfer no ko ebia Germany ana mo transfer no ko ebia Britain because me nimbo bia it ko mo han ma me we hospital bi e friend man najo omo ye no mpemu aduma pa e na ba ko bi clinic bi so me fie nche ha ya piano gentle ba bia interfo park no
okay
e friend betuoli amafo okura tumi fi America kura ba be hwe omo yare ho nti na kire America hospital ni ho ana no kire say bia Britain hospital ni ho but ye hwe ba bia benya professional o de hwe football si kwambo no obi timi pira e bia obo Madrid na ya transfer ne ko America nso Spain so hospital ho obi timi nya problem ye say no mo fa no ko e bia Romania ho na obenya specialist our treat no nti na kire say aba na teso no wasi hospital nti na so ko ba bi wo ene jampo no mina kire say o mo funu ma ye manti no o mo hu sa de we but na make no me pipi ni se ma me no ko na se o mo de ko ba bia esam so me ka se na de Ghana hospital edi ho bi ma na doctor for na sa medical team na mo ka se na ba omi akwa check up no mo so doctor ene sa doctor for no ma wu ana wo ya sa o kwa obekwa ko because adwenboni wo team wo de obenya wo de o kwa aye but obi de kwa enye and this for life akwa se enye o mo de enye wo na wo de start na mamu a e kire se wo mo amama no ko nanim ade bia enye wo de kire se enye ene no ma mo criticize aba we wo ho e kan sem bebre fa na do na busuafo ho the same thing na mo ba ya mo ye double o kan sem bi ene ma ha manu ati me drive no for public and that's the official duty onye satisfied driver say ultimate driver mampanyin so Ghana for I say ye hu sa de no kire se obi I say enye hwe all because asofo obi ya je kana na je blank envelope I demonstration say ye makra money media so ntino ene ne ma ha meye bia eye wahu ene o maye ewo mi akronfo mo Ghana nyina mo wi o masika ye chichi o mu nyina ne no ma nyina hwane nko asori bebre elders sorry for ne sa ampanyifo ya mo de da kuo ne ya no o mo na bo ye kro no wahu enti se o maye chichi o maye sa na se kwa se ade na nipa ne ye na ya de papa kro mpo a na sa kwa se nya mi party de enye wahu okuja to de MC wono on play man play na crash ya ma na wu because wadwen boni ni adwen fi on tim na on because nsema wakeka fa na ado ho a ne ono odi makoten a on na facilitate me fly obi na kwa abroad no nya me betua ne ka na maame no bom na ho ya me mobo na busuafo ye ka kire o mo se maami hwe ho ye nso wantie dia ye dia aka maame bibi ya na me mpiti no because na so na edene wuri am enforce na ofufuro so wura me da se bebre
da won so ase bebre se ofure ya nyankopɔ bye Evans Evans and I attend yes o se maame no se one ofane sen Trump ebetwe so ese so ya de ko Trump kuruma obe na wasan aba enti abusuamfo nsam na ye kan ye se ye ni age se maame bi yare o no ye de NDC for kan ne berebi no eno na yeso ye ka bi ne Aye, so Dr. Bawumia yare na eni kwan se okwama no ne kosa ne ho yade a. Ya maame Naana no pokwa adwuma na ene odi akonwa na ne Bawumia di no. Ono nso no ni kwan se yede ne kwama no ne ekosa ne ho yade. Ye nyina ye ntenam na ye nsa ye ho yade wo man no. Saa na tie. Yeah. Ya frɛ maame nso na ye ti ono nso. Ne kakra o de ka program. Na busia otimi e like video na wa share nso aka ho. Ya RAZ Media GH YouTube. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello, Mr. Marshall.
Hello, ma'am. What is saying?
Nyankopɔn adɔre ma ne mu mpaebɔ ɛte sɛ.
Mpacho ye pa. And our voice of for obi bia bɔkɔ de, ma'am.
Oh, my breath. My breath, my breath, come here, dampo.
Wow.
Mekyia watiefoɔ nyinaa. Yo, na nso ɛsɛ ade ɔmo yɛ.
Oh, say the ahoɔden wɔ hɔ pa. Say the ahoɔden wɔ hɔ pa.
Yo, Mr. Marshall, ɛdeɛ na mewɔ ka. Meni bibi aka o. Because sisia no, akɔyɛ te sɛ wokɔ kasa ɛbɛka sɛ wo party lose nti wo kasa. But me bɔ Ghanafoɔ ɛnka yɛ sɛ moana mode Ghana akɔhyɛ gyem. Medi ka akɔ maame ne deɛ no so. Maame no yɛma n'abusua yɛ akɔ. Onye nwuye mum ne yɛma ɔmo yɛ akɔ. Yɛma ɔmo yɛka ne sɛ hyɛden. Because huruyɛ emogya nyɛ den ɛmpa ne tiri mu da. Yɛ president ɔwɔ so sisi ɔyɛ Ghana bonsam a wabɛtena yɛ so. Obi a otumi gyina hɔ di mu nyinaa matam na ɔka kyerɛ mo sɛ moyɛ short memory association. Na yɛbɛto aba nso so no nneɛma point na mebobɔ so no. Ɔsan nso so ka kyerɛ mo sɛ anana amanfo fi sɛ audio tape na ba abɔntene no ɛyɛ kasa na ɔmakasa ato so kɛkɛ na.
Aso okojina asante hina nim kan sɛ nyɛ no kore. Papa
wo. Yo. Kontompo ni so ɔno ba frudua ma ne nyɛ den.
Eni kan.
Na di n'akyi. Mo kaisi yɛbɛto aba no nkɔmhyɛ bebree bae. Anamuru afi. So ɔsɛ yɛ short memory association anamuru afi. Nkɔmhyɛ na bae no ɛwɔ ɔmo nneɛma ɔmo kɔyɛ yɛ no muru afi bebree. Mesama fupa wo so ka short memory association ho ana.
Me ka ho pa me kan nkɔmhyɛ na bae no bebree sɛ ahwai family kura
ka. The difference in South Africa by say. Yeah. Omo be wi ni aba no mo wi a NDC phone bebree be wu. Ana mo rep.
Me kai pa maame bi no. Yes.
Yeah. Ena obi nso so be ka say mako na ekoko hwie gu ye no. Ede yaw ebeba also ko hwie mako gu wo takrade ho ba bi o sejesi edwom ba bi. Ana wo rep fie no.
Me kai pa.
Omo se mako na omo hwie gu ye no. Ede eyaw bi beba NDC mu. Na say yaw no na eba no.
Ya shase.
Shase. Ewiase. Ade anya wo dia na wo chinchim obi nsa degye a onyame otua wo ka. Hwebra. Made ba ko pa misuru awurade e wo wiase no. Kama ohu. Ewo ade anya kopon fa so a otua ye ka. Obi ani wo betumi aka kyem se akatua no eni ho ewo ho. Ba oma wo wrefi na wo relax. Na eduru so takewa takewa ma eduro kura ye fre na eduro kura no nya bi na ade ayeden wo dia sa wo ho yade eyewa NDC fo pese o mo di Ghana fam no be pese me ka kire wo mo say wo mo ba fam asme se de sa asme se de yen ye fam no. You promise ordinary Ghanaian citizen. Enwa na me wo baby na ye friend say TikTok wo baby o say platform bi so no bi de the way an necessary for ka say Bawumia ya jisika no so ye ntom maw.
Yes. Alawane de yaje nanso
Alawane de yaje. Metena ho sa na me say what a fools. Mo hwe omo Jimmy. Omo ka so omo ye Bawumia. Enyo ono na wo ye no. Se kamo koto abapa. Ena ke tumi si agenda 111 ni wi aka munyina mu wi esku anka hemfa na mbeko. Mbeko akoye adwuma hospital.
Yes.
But enam ani bre any boni adokrom na mahama so ready mu no hu say mu what the short memory association mu do sika asene mu ankasa mu ma wan nse a mu buso me nkro daakye mu do sika asene mu amuma manyinse a mu buso me nkro achi wo mu atiti mu wura mu ahwe wo mu no mu do sika sene ayi no mu tumi mfa aboso entitiri mu yam entwen
and the Munsu and Train. Yeah.
So what you say? Abramu amunimu fair. MPP buy no na COVID wo ho. Mahama sesia what so no. Nanado ene na ban ahihye bibia to ho.
Yes.
Dead restructure omu famu. COVID omu famu. Russia Ukraine war omu famu. Adia na MPP amfam. Adia na nanado ene na ban wo manfam. Omu fa bibia mu. But no omu ye ni ye e de amamu. Said that she school she niema one adutwum omu ye ni nyina. Na all prepare baby amam said Jesus Christ say me kwa meja no ho na mako prepare baby dia eden. Sa pepepe na MPP ye. Se kamo ma ba wo mia etwo aba we so a. Ghana fo enye no se kamo wo mu yo. Business mu kuta business minim se ano business for na ka business for na ya ka business say enye se wakokwa so akofa niema nko aba container na omu di ban ede na wuwom Mr. Mafo business for businessmen no mu Ghana no hey ready here omu amanfo no nya business for na de ba
omu na sesa de ba yes
bra ya mumbu sam ho Ghana fo awufo oni bie agimi fo ya mugu Ghana mu benum no ya mumbu sam ho say that person call himself as a business person containers no mu de ba no what is inside the containers adia na ya na wuwom mumbu sam ho is that only eniema omo export na eba
say na no ko Ewakochi container be a 30 million worth cocaine and a gum. Yeah.
Sikana omubaka say a fake dollars no mukoko hunu ye no. Oma kan ho asem bi.
Dabi. Ayira was this.
Sikano na ye real. Real. Koku sika, cocaine sika ena na baba besisu wa ye be export to diako. Tankrofo we no no. Sa omuka ea na mudi ene sa from Bina kosi Z. The full of liars. Me say ye beto aba no. Me kan se MP NDC winia ombeton Ghana. Omubeton aton mu nipa ni nyinara. Na muka si ye di agora na. Ana na muka si ye ni mu ye joku wo ay super highway ni so. Dabio hwe makasi super sa me metia no me kwa madwuma o me so ene me so le 5 na me koye me di hu me han huba na me de koye me so le 5 na me koye because na me start adwuma 6 o'clock na ma ponta mpo na afa no ma bedru fie no eti dia be na be kire me say me de me kra na me nipa dua beto oni padasa ni so ba abra bible kwa ma me warning
yeah
adentina me di mani beto nipa so adentina me di mani beto party bi so because MPP abane ba yes minka so omuye angel minka so omuye kunkono but at least the country in peace
yes
country no enwu power mo obia so yes eniema omu fa mu COVID time that wasn't great and obia brabante no meka say Nana do first time na nye good ana. Na ye good. But enam say Ghana. Yen jene ye IQ no. Keyboard ni bi atutu nti no. Ye dia ne say sika. Ena amanfrafo. Ena abegu kuro no mu no mu disturb citizens no. Mr. Mafo, enye easy o.
Enye easy kura.
Enye easy magana for. Me si enfie na we na omu betwa no. Enye nkaku si Ghana kura nka Mr. Mafo mpanifo amutie mi, mumfa nche me with Mahama administration we ya owo so yi. Ebe ye terrible crash in COVID.
Yes.
Eti montina ho na mo de monka se yaba.
Yaba na wo so.
Ayi MPP free so na ambroba atiatese e wo kromu ana meboa.
Yes.
MPP free so na security e break it down. De dan pare ye na me se wono de onka hyenkoduru. So ye Kristo ni okọ Pentecost. Pentecost ko esoro ne benchaya na afọ ne atifi baye. Pentecost boni nko an omudi wo.
Say omo chairman no so kura po no ne ho asem. Pentecost.
Ofosu afofo ekosi sai.
And Pentecost ni kese pa.
Boni esoro ti ye se dan pare nso ye Pentecost ni. Na no na me samafu me nkwa asori ya na menye den.
Asori ne de yedi kan ka se Pentecostal churches no bebre na na ye business. Bebre na na ye business.
Me ne menya me ntamasam. Me kwa asori wo makoma mu ani madwene ani mitrim. Enye sa me kotena ho na sofo no wabedi ntro. De obegina ayi altar nanima no pa o preach minimum de wakoye.
Dabi.
Minim baby of fire.
Senye wono na ye ne niema.
Minim ense kura wakodi ansa no obegina ho. Minim body kura wakodi ansa no obegina ho. Ye nyina me samafu enfunso wo ye hu.
Yes.
But Ghana fo asofo ahyenyankopon a wo bo so ni asase. Ene asase a wo mo nan enam so ahyenyame anim aka NDC echi. Just because of sika omubedi enti. Upon what my Ghana Ediama NDC. Then my question is, are they happy with it? Did they sleep overnight? Omuda. Wamuda ma kosiada otumiko jinaho edi offering bowl. Esi wasu obiba asoria ometo offering. Anasa omeyi tax na omujen omeyi titles ya kanisan omeyi enfama womu. Onyame bebusa womu o. Onyame obebusa womu. Obebusa womu big time. Na ye mame Naana opo kwajiman. NDC yine free ho. They know who they want. You are already admitted. What Canada? Joyce Bauer.
Yeah.
And person de ye vice president. Joyce Bauer. Anya Joyce Bauer. Obi wo ho mo de ne beba. Eti Ghana for muma mumpa ibomu enya dene. Because womu de emoja no. Omu klike womu sika empa womu widie mu da. They full of toxic and evil.
Yes.
Na omu tumi di omu ba firstborn cry den.
Edinsie. Yeah.
Edinsie etwa so a. Ede no mu ntumi nye. Wenu mu nyina na onyame eyi niema bi kire Ghana fo. Satam no niema wenya no onyame yi niema bi kire Ghana fo. But as weak as some of us, our soul is weak, you know. Omuntumi ntie nyame ne, no muntumi ntie tese osofo aba esebeto so bolo. Tese osofo aba sebe so seed. Tese osofo aba sefa wo pieto ebreme. Na me nkoye nyankoma dia na me nko bompa na me fa nko nyankopon ba ye pieto be na obusa Yesu ba pieto be na obusa enu na Ghana ni ebeje di say wakohu sofo ama sofo yeden ama no kwankyere. Ghana for Onyamia Dimuamo. What did Yami Ramo? Na what's I be draka say? Obi eye kremoni ntimi nkoto aba ma no. Na osu timi lele no ujimi nukra no mi hu bi da. Se o kremoni beba ama wo hu atọ. Enti wonto aba because all me ye shema. Na mahama na oba ye na wo so ye Kristo ni na de na se ya waye ama. Edia no hwe yawa wodi mu kom especially asantefo kumasefo mo wo ye wodi mu kom mahama miya wo mo
I thought nyina asantema mu na ekoso
ai miya wo mo mate se yase amanfo costo na me se Erade
ya bra panyini
ai mo se mo pe change no so na me samafo
mame
me sa asa ka biem wa wo beba comment section wa be di matam no me di wo ne wo se ene waja ene wasefo nyina me di wo matam me fa brem ni mo obi o me ni nka ni pakora me di brem ni ma no
me ti opa
Fosu brigade
papa we wodi abro
Fosu brigade na obi a wo so won tiase no ombra na challenge me MPP fo mpanifo so o mon tiase a ombra app no so o mon challenge me me wo me reason ti a me dey kasa because baby a wonam bia ye dinachi o ye dinachi Kennedy cannot be trusted in MPP again.
Yes.
Now MPP from penny for some bois. Kennedy cannot be trusted in MPP again. Especially mu test conform na mu dina chena mu diji ntakuni nkapreno. Mo di kan mu bi mo di kan atom kra ene mo nyam di ama mahama. Mi jina ha ene Sunday. Eye 30th of March. Etna na ya di bosome na ya den akona wieye mupa mumfanko saba bi ensuo kase MPP fo mpanifo bom no mu musuo na mu kwoto aba na mu koyi Canada Japan de ne ba you are doomed mo doom anya kamahama mama mahama mon solo ma ni nyina fa mama mahama etu test con na usu ye university test con so we ye de na oba no obeda adam wo hihya mase no me ka kire mo kra mo sa beton biem you have no future because a Kennedy ukofa ne ba obewe
for sure and for sure
obekọ hwe etin mo fa maki ba bi ensuo nya den enka hwe me nsuro na maka se Kennedy se me boa ombra me challenge me what can some fun atena ho akeka some fun emra ye beto aba hwe eniema wo keka ye edie na siye any esumasi a wo sa fire omo tutu omo kasa omo destroy part no wo underground no you succeeded it so why are you in public I will share up to say you are innocent Ken you are not you full of toxic you are evil to the party or person or mama party no go no Canada Japan a person go MPP party no and I'm not afraid to say it. Means no and I make on Tajiani Mamindi. To what was Jinisika and I would get campaign manner. Go and speak for him. But I'm speaking what I know. That man doesn't mean MPP well. It would MPP Munawi Penny. So we can say general secretary. So we are one. I don't give a fuck about monkeys. Kennedy is full of toxic. Or the party no ebe ko opposition bi. Eti wa wo so won tiase no. Ko ne kokko shepo. Hwe niam wo ye Ghana ni na wo desumie so na wo dwene a And some of the kind in Yano. And now wuba dachi. And what dia koshet Mahamansa.
Yes.
Wuba ni monyam. And what dia koma Mahama. Na ono so ba dia no ba ye. Wo dia kwa na ayi. Wu keyboard na tutu free wadwene mu no. Kwa na kokko pe a plier. Na fix ni nyina na akoda na dwene na hwe se ma me bodamfo na ogina Mr. Mafo afidie no so okasa no asama o ka no so oboa na anasa no kore na meka me minim ni nyina a woye Ghana fo mudim nsa begu muti daache Burkina dia no so a woye no edie benti na sa containers na yira ye Wato sa niema we di ma ayi a wo show yi so de ma Burkina fo a edie benti no ntumi mfa container ni bi nko ho mita na adum kwa kraba ye no a na poka ho bi no amukwa kraba se na nkai omu wini a ayi party na ayi yaka ni so omani mu na eniema nkoye na da bi omu kana light na pressure na say no ekomu di ma omu a edwom na omu mita bobabo ho omu yusu mita baako pe no ekomu be fix sa eniema ni nyina ama edwomfo no ekomu ho aheha wo ma obi anya mita ba sesi asa eniema no wen sesi aye kan nya cable nko an ye ka ho asam
be meters ne yeah meters yes
but what we see a meter no asam apart from a meter a cable no what is here a meter ho asam
be enka ho asam kura
very good so ask yourself where is the meters meter no e wo here fa hwe wo ye oba tan wo ye eja na wo to a eja ene maame they are all a parents because mummy anu nyina na mo dai na mo wo akora ne ba wiase na wo du okromoti ekosi barrel paper so to man NDC a you should be ashamed of yourself what can say wo hu wo ya suffer na wo te Ghana na wo tumi gina microphone achi na wo tumi ka kire Ghana ni bia se hwe no wankoto aba fama NPP na kotuma NDC a me catch say onyami odi ya wo because what dia kura bi dachi ayeden afri ninsem
yes
MPP may not be perfect but omoba omanimu a national cake no eso obi aso emu obi anya bigi me national cake na menya die ese me ba Ghana with peace anya ni sesia matesi eso wo ko Ghana ayi vendors almost sasika ne yekunkum wo mo edwadifo akwa ne yakwache wo mo ne ya woro ye ho ne ya ju wo musika wo phone musika ne gu phone so ya sefa pin number bra ne ya bro ne ya je ba me ko Ghana me national cake me nya no say security Ghana is in peace that is my national cake because security for no ehwom eye adwuma ye ye ba security for so me nkasa ntia muda you guys should be ashamed of yourself Jana na do ba ye ma munyina ma anwene hu na muda edan fin right from Rollins me ko balance krampo a cap kromo ma me nsu na me ngibe nom but na do pen so no he put all that cake and gave you guys a better place to live
yes
afedia na mo ye mutu oba against just simply because of dampale mutu oba against na do ene na ban montinam mo dia mo pesa da atemu situtu a wo ba wo so betumi abue wano akasa me ba na eben hwa ni monyam a ode beta machi mahu efie na no me se mahama ba he me se me ka efie na no kra na makoma eye ahuru na makoma eye ahuru wode mo be fa wo eye wa mo be fa mu no mo be fa akokọ sa lolo one ne nua Ibrahim Mahama hwe Mahama eji na ewu but opeso destroy Ghana
yes
asan wa free ase mahama na oye de kura wubewu wonka wayi yesisa de bodua anka konfo nsam no
yeah sele bodua anka na ntwie to no enka konfo nsam
yeah enko konfo nsam eti mahama woye dan it doesn't matter how many so you will take from infantile life wakum prof wukum ho anwan wuye say mahama wunsu bewu bi o wubewu bi asase na so wobekose Naana opoku agiman owu a papa wubekobi wonchire bo wuti sika no Ghana sika na wuwia no koso na wia ene de amanfo twefa container ni mu no koso na tweko wubewu agya ho anaso opese wuwu a yemfa sika no bobo wadaka amawo
yemfa sika nkosio
na say ya de bobo adaka na ya de bia gugu hu de ama no em say no wo hwe
on na sika mu nkowo
na wugya ma wo man so a omu de bedi nkwasi asem ma de begigi afiri wo mu nsam obenya kalisi kapa obegigi omu begigi sika na afiri wo mu nsam ama wo mu wo yi lodim na mahama hwe ne to wontumi kura nante wo sika na ama ne to ne nanu kura wo to wontumi kura nkogem nti ono so enche sadia dokro na obewu akoho etimonyere mo hu wia Ghana but meme de me see onipa dasani bi otie me wo nkwa you are a rich person because won ka na ade bekwa ye adwuma na wo de anya wo deliberate na wo da ho na akona doctor say sika na wukuta ni nyina no ntumi fansa ya de na ana wo hu ntowa e de na abeye you are nobody eti na opoku agiman so ne mahama mo po mo fa no ko ba bia nyame abusuafo nya sa na me communicate wo wo ne sa nyankopon say obeje ne kra na opoku agiman ontumi nya hwe
there is nothing you can do about it
because already no mahama maton ne kra nti obia Ghana mo da mo mpaye ma no because this no omo 4 years no yetia ye hwe yesi ye dia ma radio yetia ye hwe Canada yadasi o waya de yadasi nyame ai fosu brigade yadawase nyame hira why ye twan bra ye twan why na abeto pega samafo medasi nyame hira
won so no nye okese ma medasi bebre
amen
have a good night ye mame Esther na ye te ne nka no ode ne de aba ai mame Esther de ofra ja ja ye mame Joyce nso afre we last call na de bibia aba na wie yes mame Joyce hello
Bisa Mafo.
Mame, emo akwa
Ye nia.
What is saying?
Adumu ne wetifo nyina. Nse nyakira ye nyina ye mu.
Yes. Etio, your be phone line, your be wato a highway no so etio.
I will be here na so na we dey koma adwasafo first of all. I never wo adwasafo wo be ya adwasafo enye MPP enema wo ene adwasafo wo be ya adwasafo na ene media ba we nya got akogina so say MPP 4% wo bokro no a 1% wo be bokro no nti me samano ede magana insu abusum asase a ye friend Ghana na asase ye friend Gold Coast asante Michael DJ se ono adwasafo abegina media ene akase MPP 4% obokro no a on person obebo nti se ni swear anane dwuma sika ono ene wodi ya be premene na onfa ni sika onfa aban sika na onfa Ghana fo sika bi apart from edwuma also in na yede man pay no ono pen wodi dia oni die oni ne nyame ene nsu egu Ghana na se was start so obey campaign cause of new kunu the baby father Ken in tia ye twen no mama onfa osofo kantata emfa mba asem wemu because papa no kura no onye ne papa she's adopted.
Ah, sir.
Yes, I just would you find out she's adopted by that man.
Mo on some ho. Your adopted daughter.
Yes. Onye papa no onye osofo kantata ni yemu bani adwo asafo a. Na so person okuma kene Japan a ye nyina ye stress mama how be antino because no our workers omo ye 1,000 plus or 7,000 plus eno nyina ye boagan ye na bibia sha asia no so wo na ewie ye akoyi aye kumunu yi ono no koyi akwa na animu o na o ka say so ba the studio around any premises me kumunu ena wukọ yi saa akwa n'enim ena muso akoyi akoye de ekowu obi enim say you know say no before MPP beba no saa minister bibi atabia yekokum no ewo ne fie ho no
Aha, okay. Yeah. If any same kura. JB
Dankwa akwa na ye chi no no ohye prisons up to now no oka say onu ken ohun no oba ho bibi ahyase na ewo na ewie ye nti ye twen ono so sa asem no ye ndi wie ye wa America nti ye twen if he's innocent no nyame begya no mu na kunimdi aye ne de
yeah
nya etosumie no de bia me ka said Mahama oba revenge and again before election no time I can say papa no ye to manual he will take his revenge in Ghana and went ye no makoto ama President Mahama Dariga John Ramani. A daughter of Medrano. She said, I can't know what to move. And I opesa yakabio. Onko bisane mame, ni mame krosa, on bisan kuma kankanyame. And this is when you know mutia, munko bisa party no na say. En kuma eye kankanyame or there a pin for moja. And about one is so judges. Yeah, boy, near all your flag and the man black and red and Asian. At the end of the year, yeah, boy, those days no what transport. Now, say transporting load of it a flower station one or qua. Yeah, who baby a can and independent in our bed. This is the bloody party I'm talking of.
I see.
At the end, this party no. Our history pa mujasem. Na yanka na MPP ba so no 8 years no. Eja to market ni nyame. 8 years no tebio mutibi.
Dabi.
Osumnani spirit na NDC for kita no ope amanfo eyawdie ani mojefie. Ekwan bi obefa so say manfo ho betete omo bedi abobo any mojefie no that's the spirit they have. Na segana fo behwe airport the whole airport international airport light off enye nim kwase de mamu Ghana fo
international airport.
That be Ghana radi na John Mama can say they have a short memory no. Any documentation 8 years Nana Akufo-Addo ba so disasters eba wo Ghana. Kumasi market, Accra market. Ebi esi for 8 years Ghana for Misremo. be a reason moon tuning quitch de moon sumo minimum womo ye say mona ye womo. Sebio suku na ebia wan kobia ana woni mesa ye hwe moja na wuti baby a men di party we echi because no party no enye party eye de magana eno echi no maami a Janet eyi no
Naana opoku ajema. Yeah.
Chena omo yusu maame no because no wo hwe the masses of vote omo nyaye no moja no omo spirit no ohia obata obi owo enufu. That is where they get their votes.
Big allegation.
They use this woman. Yes. They use this woman. Yeah, kase onwu. Now so nem kwadie ekita mahama any asedi nketi ansem. Mo NDC ni bi bejina ho ya kufuo se ni suba boni na adwen boni nti e na oti wheelchair mu. Mu kasa NDC fuo no eni moticha de omu di mochi no omu susu no omu kasa because we are seeing ya bo ansa na eba bedu yeso e na media ba. Enti mu NDC fuo no amu di NDC fuo eche mu kasa mu fa nyansa en kasa. Papa Kufuor ono no ote ho no 90-something years no na dwen bone no oda so te ase odi moko odi nchene.
Yes.
Chen bibi no ono me ka say me nyanyame na so ono de ye ne twa because na ye sacrifice omo ye Joma hama yen kan kire no no nte yen so nyame ahira ye bi o wo Joma hama wo ye vice the man atamils wo pe president e dinti wo di atamils etwa so na wo be di president eti Joma hama president bi the president odi ni any friend ni vice so wu who kind of vice you know so wu ye
yeah
when so aba ono so obekọ and also for no can say in the 8 year after 8 year after 2028 election no mama will not have any your friend is vice no
And never bobano.
who can also be other kind young guy be also your shop
yes me take pa
yes a plan on why ya for no nkoto nchen mo say na Akufo-Addo any MPP galamsey Ghana for mo benye adwuma ye nanso wo wie a nia wo be di isu a wo benum eni nia wo be dware wo da chemma bia na wankasa because when you get to 60 years no wo to me kwaya galamsey ni biomu o the 24 hours economy any transform of Ghana 90 days no and any galamsey sisia no all this ka ohwe mukina disika mamu na mun konko tu galamsey na mun se asase no na mun se esuo no asase no to me fanye farming on to me fanye nyama papa madachi mmabi obi abetumi anya adwuma ene esuo papa no galamsey fo no muntie asem ya efi menum eba no because wunya 70 years ni wunya 60 years a won to me kwaye galamsey o wuni pension bia wo bebia o
yeah
Sebi wa wo ma edukura ana 5 kura no mo nyina na mo pesa obekwa akoye galamsey because baby to me ko jina galamsey move for 20 years and 30 years no nya ni pension wo na ne atwa kire ni se mo wo president papa na mo di nechi say like John Ramani obeka se obema musika mo de bo akotu galamsey he will make a provisions for galamsey na wo ko tu wi a chisa wo di abre semi jenfi Monkey they work, bamboo they chop.
Yes.
Sikano a wakoji no woni baby okoji ye no. Profit no. Wa ma wo license a wo wakọ jina galanse mu a. Wako contaminate any disease in future no. What is galamse gold ni brand wo. Na nkrofo omo ama ni sika no the license no the amasa nkrofo no. Sa nkrofo no me say nkrofo no mo master plan no. Now it takes a knowledge people before you can read these people mind and you know where to vote. And no na me just say na Akufo-Addo ni ba o want education. And magane so mo ehun no. So almost say two party when no be rule Ghana, then you need education. And no MPP akomude magana for no. Sisi ano Bujo Ramani, when ya national security for soldier for mu ko peacekeeping e wo Lebanon ni nyama. When ya omu bia nkojina galamsey ano se wakofa Burkina Faso mini baby omu fi enkwala omu finfi ekomudi omu say you are recruiting them.
Yes. Water boys.
David, I wish for now mujina ho say omu recruit omu no. Wo be bisa say nti Ghana I mean soldiers no papa for no omu wo he. Ghana for ye pamucho. Why ya dear mana aye abroach and say bio we don't have anything to do in Ghana just here by a babaji ye na ya say ya but why ya dear mana ya because vote na muko vote ni wrong vote. Yen kase MPP for ye angelo yen kase omudomu ye nyame o na so kakra na komudomu ni Ghana be ko baby. And now what cause sasa nkrofo ye fisa Burkina baby oni omufi we no mo ko guide galamsey. Eti so mo ko guide galamsey na wo ko tu galamsey na wan fa ko masami jefia e kwan so na wa chew na wa jefi wo nsam.
A crime.
Yeah, a master plan. Eti yes re Ghana for abane de mo ato e na mo ato ewie so. Eti ye nyina ye bom pai say nyame de ahonden e de better ye for 2028 no. Asofofo no omomoji omo ehwiehwie so omudi beji power no de omo pe no omo anya ewie 2025 we 2028 nyame ankasa bedi hene wo Ghana so nyame ndi hene ama Ghana na MPP NDC party we entu efi Ghana na chese nyame ayesum no onya nyame ye yesum nyame a oti ase a ono na bibia hye ne nsem oye no kwarefo nso echeche so obeye of how and Ghana for akofa abre your friend say Ghana or how can see because papa adwuma all ye any ideas or the nam wo Ghana ho no enye baby oni Ghana be bia Mr. Mafo
Mame.
kakra meka me di betwa so no enini
Me that's it.
yesterday MPP for mpanyimfo no te bia meka me say boot to boot bumper to bumper now. Asem bi ba abonten a omumbra abonten no mu be chirechire mu na ye hunu kware na ewo mu no because mu di oman no so da na mu ye nimdiefo so papa bi enti mama mu nja ne trara asa na nkrofo na mfa no mu nye omu propaganda no mu be chirechire bibia mu Nia Mujaye before and then Akufo-Addo was went to power no. Now dollar was 14.2. Mikai matron so to go. And a resource no Ojaye no it's 48 something. And now mommy mini baby a ye ni fi. Wa ko jina ho no pa no jina camera na enim. Interview na ekrofo no face ekrofo ejimi wahu Sa joy FM for no fu say eye hihye mo fu say nkofo eji mu kwa koye market for interview nipa ba akopɛ na wo di camera na esi n'anim. 2022 crate of egg no na ye 35 cities. Now say me friend me adan for be wo Ghana maybe so that crate of egg she bought it for 800. Oh. And to Ghana for monka no kwarenso ni Ghana for enum because no mo se akomodemu John Mahama oba ye no so akoye guinea fowl na nam he hwe Ghana sika obesisa so do akoye guinea fowl no ebi ni nam he wo Ghana yesremu mo adwene mu ndo na colonial politics ni ye twem metia we tie phone nyina any Ghana phone nyina na omu tie wo program we moma enkonkrofo asomonka nukware a Ghana ye wom ene mmoa ye so bia so de boa 2028 no na Ghana enya jo fa ne ba wo mia ensa na chimbre biom no mbefa Ghana tuma no emambo. Amen. Yesremu Ghana for yesremu ye hunto ye wa brochuri o na so kakra ena ye pese mo so mo hutomo ye pa mo cho 2028 ni de ye pa mo cho ya me enta ye nyina ho. Amen. Mr. Marfo.
Good night. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, mommy. Joyce and I tell you. Abusia ebre ayebre. Hi. The telephone you ask. Yes. The one our friend yeah, mommy Esther me da see pa. Yeah, mommy Joyce last call me da see pa. Me ya akama kofi me da wase bebre. Me ya panye samoro kuno me chiao da wase na obre kwa me konto me chiao ye pa. Mami akua afro ye nana afro me chiao ye pa obabi o me mami retapia me chiao pa mami ya afro mpo mami chiao ye pa Tony ye boa me chiao Perisia me chiao Michael Umbed me chiao Ajose wa me chiao Deborah Chei me chiao ye pa edawase ena ye nana Boaten from Facebook me chiao yes abusia me chache mu nyina ma panyini kwaku mensa me chiao ye pa na Kofi Frank me chiao nso wa manhu amodini fa me bone cheme maami akua tutuwa me chia ye pa na yewia kursun coffee wonso me chia obusia me de obesia na ochina yasan ya hia biem but me kono video we eye when Semi Jamfi was having press conferences and he was in opposition tie video no na fa ye wo ho good night me da mo nyina se ochina be sen hia afro be chia pa Hebeshia ochina akramon to meet again. Adios.
So-called fight turned out to be a ruse to kick out legal small-scale miners and artisanal galamseyers and replace them with a new breed of marauding illegal miners belonging to the ruling New Patriotic Party and the Akufo-Addo government. Ladies and gentlemen, it does appear that the public discourse about President Akufo-Addo's failed fight against Galamsey has more often than not become a mere media banter between government on one hand and the opposition come civil society on the other. But let me emphasize today that the issue of Galamsey and its debilitating effects on our environment goes beyond the usual binary MPP-NDC debates in Accra. It is about our people, it is about their health, it is about our water, it is about our forest resources and our survival as a nation. The destructive manifestation of Galamsey being supervised by President Akufo-Addo in Ghana today defeats the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which Ghana subscribes to. It is an affront to notably Sustainable Development Goal 7, Goal 13, Goal 14, and Goal 15, which all talk about clean water, sanitation, climate action, conservation and sustainability of land, water, and marine resources. Friends from the media, it was an honor to all Ghanaians, including the NDC, when our President Akufo-Addo, alongside the Prime Minister of Norway, Erna Solberg, were in April 2017 made co-chairs of the UN's eminent group of SDG advocates, a position that President Mahama had earlier held with distinction and to the admiration of the international community. Subsequent to that appointment, in a speech delivered at Accra International Conference Center on July 10, 2017, our president boldly proclaimed that he was willing to put his presidency on the line to fight the Galamsey menace. The president, in that same speech, appealed to the media, civil society, traditional leaders, and all stakeholders to support his fight against Galamsey. And so we all supported him. Even the opposition supported President Akufo-Addo, so that he could at least get this one thing right. Because like I've explained, the issue of Galamsey and its effects on our environment, our water bodies, our forest reserves, is not an NDC MPP matter. It affects us all. So we gave him the benefit of the doubt and supported him, hoping that he will live up to his words. But as you can see for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, President Akufo-Addo has once again defrauded the good people of Ghana. We are very sad today to note that our president, a man who coincidentally is the co-chair of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals advocates, has failed to make due his solemn promise to fight the Galamsey menace and protect our environment from further degradation. The fight against Galamsey in the last 3 years, that is if it can even be called a fight, has exposed the duplicity and the hollowness of the words of President Akufo-Addo. This press conference today is an evidence-based press conference. And as such, we intend to give you both historical and empirical data to support our claim that President Akufo-Addo's failed fight against Galamsey was nothing but a ruse calculated to monopolize the illicit Galamsey trade for members of the New Patriotic Party and their foreign collaborators. Ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that at a speech delivered by President Akufo-Addo at the 2019 edition of the Investing in Africa Mining Idiba, the world's largest mining investment conference in South Africa, President Akufo-Addo claimed that River Pra has cleared up and was beginning to host aquatic life again due to his fight against Galamsey. And so today, we have brought you to the banks of the Pra River in Kifu Praso, in the central region of Ghana, so that you, the media, you who are the fourth estate of the realm, can judge firsthand whether President Akufo-Addo spoke the truth to the world when he claimed that the Galamsey fight had been won under him and that River Pra and several other river bodies in Ghana were clean. You can see for yourself. Behind us is the extension of River Pra in this area, a river body that serves several communities within this catchment area potable water. The people in this area rely on this water body for their lives. They use it, they drink from it, they cook with it, they wash with it, and this is what they use for basically everything that requires water. And as you can see, I don't know whether I should describe it as yellow or brown or chocolate. You can see for yourself that the turbidity level of this water is the worst ever we have seen in the history of this country. And so clearly President Akufo-Addo lied to the world when he proclaimed that the fight against Galamsey is being won under him, for which reason River Pra, River Brim, River Nkobra, and several river bodies were clearing up. As you are all witnesses today, Galamsey has intensified to unprecedented levels in the last 3 years, while the Akufo-Addo government continues to spend millions of taxpayers' monies ostensibly fighting the canker. Anyone who thought that President Akufo-Addo slept on this task, ladies and gentlemen, is mistaken. Recent revelations on the missing 500 excavators and the illegal mining activities of government officials such as Professor Frimpong Boateng, the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Charles Bisiu, a presidential staffer, Horace Ekowawusi, the Vice Chairman of the MPP in the Central Region, and notable MPP officials such as John Buedu, their General Secretary, Chama Wuntumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, show that the Akufo-Addo government's so-called fight against Galamsey was a sham from day one. These latest revelations of thievery and massive corruption confirms our long-held position that President Akufo-Addo's so-called fight against Galamsey was a well-thought-out master plan designed to take over the illicit Galamsey trade and in turn use its proceeds to fund the New Patriotic Party, of which President Akufo-Addo is the leader. Because I'm sure we are all by now conversant with the video in circulation on social media, which captures a conversation between Ekowawusi and the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Professor Frimpong Boateng. In that video, we heard these government officials, these public officials, whom we have entrusted with our resources, with our lives, with our monies to fight the Galamsey canker, planning on how to promote and facilitate the Galamsey businesses of leading members of the New Patriotic Party, such as their General Secretary John Buedu, Chama Wuntumi, Frimpong Boateng and his son Jojo Frimpong, and so on. They were doing that because, according to them, the MPP needs money. Party Nyeska. And so it is okay for this government, under the guise of fighting Galamsey, to ban small-scale mining, which is legal under our laws, for close to 2 years. Ban the excavators of legal small-scale miners. Kill and maim innocent Ghanaians in Kwabeng and other areas in the country. Waste millions of the taxpayers' money. Seize gold, weapons, excavators from legal small-scale miners, and in turn give it to their MPP members, not to do legal small-scale mining, but to do illegal mining known as Galamsey. What you are seeing here is not the handiwork of some local Galamseyers. This is the handiwork of officials of the Akufo-Addo government and the New Patriotic Party and their foreign collaborators. They are the ones responsible for the mess we are seeing today. And that is why we maintain that President Akufo-Addo's failed so-called fight against Galamsey is a monumental betrayal of the trust of Ghanaians, and posterity will never forgive him for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the effects of this Akufo-Addo's deceptive fight against Galamsey are clear and evidently devastating. They are only able to treat averagely 3 million gallons of water. Today, the Ghana Water Company is rationing water in the western region and several adjoining, regions and communities because of the increased pace of illegal mining in the last 3 years. Also, on the 27th of May 2019, Ghana Web reported that water crisis in Cape Coast had worsened due to intensified galamsey in the central region. Recently, Ghanaian Times also reported that the Daboase water treatment plant was in danger as galamsey activities in the area was polluting the River Pra, leading to water rationing to residents of the Amenfi East area. Only 2 days ago, we saw a heart-wrenching story on citynewsroom.com under the headline, Galamsey, and I quote, Galamsey polluted Pra, double skin diseases, diarrhea cases in Shama district, unquote. This story, which was reported only 2 days ago, reported the Shama District Director of Health, Alfred Oseyasibe, as saying that skin infections and waterborne diseases such as diarrhea are on the rise in communities in the Galamsey polluted area of River Pra. The District Director of Health further explained that, quotes, in the last 3 years, skin diseases have increased dramatically from the 5,000 cases we recorded in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, from the 5,000 cases we recorded in 2017, now we are recording over 10,000 cases of skin infections. The diarrhea cases have also risen from our sixth position in 2017, and now we are number 3 in the whole of the country. This is according to the District Director of Health in the Shama district. That as a result of what you are seeing here today, as a result of this galamsey pollution of River Pra, skin diseases, waterborne diseases like diarrhea are on the rise. In 2016-2017, only 5,000 cases of skin diseases were recorded in the Shama districts. Today, that President Akufo-Addo has wasted over 300 million Ghana cedis of the taxpayers' money on these so-called fights. Today, that Major Mahama has lost his lives, and Ghanaians have been killed, excavators burned in the name of this so-called fight against galamsey. Skin diseases have doubled in this area. Diarrhea has doubled in this area. The incidence of all these health challenges, all these diseases, have worsened in the last 3 years. And so when we sit in Accra, in the studios of Joy FM, UTV, TV3 and all that, and you hear MPP people telling us that President Akufo-Addo is winning the fight against galamsey, what they are doing is that they are insulting our intelligence as a people, because the evidence is to the contrary. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the ever worsening ramifications of government's failed fight against galamsey is ever so lucid and conspicuous today. The countless number of polluted water bodies in several parts of our country, such as River Pra, River Brim, River Ofin, River Nkobra, among others, is enough testament to the fact that Ghanaians have been taken for a ride by President Akufo-Addo, who continues to supervise and promote the escalation of the galamsey menace. But quite characteristic of this government, even in the face of worsening turbidity of our water bodies, by the day, functionaries of government spokespersons, still claim this government has achieved results relative to the galamsey fight. What results are they talking about, ladies and gentlemen? What results? Is it the brownish coloration of the River Pra, or the chocolate coloration of River Nkobra? Is that the results they are talking about? This sad reality And I realized that when we got here, most of you were shocked at the horrifying and harrowing images you saw here. And we know that through your networks, the good people of Ghana will see the truth, the reality, the hardship that the people of this area are going through as a result of the deception